All right, Addy went ahead and tried to say hey, but he actually said it before the recording started, so congrats, Addy, you played yourself.
That's the that's the second time it happened.
Welcome to the Shut Your Mouth Lounge, episode number, I believe this is... Oh, good, I didn't mark the number down, this is great. 82, right?
I
I'll
I
check.
don't know.
I have the YouTube
I thought
open, so I'll
82 was
check.
last week, but I could be very wrong.
It is
It's
number
83, it's
83.
Yeah. And I'm Alex, and I'm here with Addy, who has already said hey. I'm here with Pink.
Hey.
I'm here with Volc.
Hey.
And I have what may be mild food poisoning to a certain degree, so I'm going to spend this entire podcast in exceptional pain, and I'm probably going to step out at several points. Oh, here it comes again. So
So let's get.
it's a
Yeah.
very slow news week. Expect me to sound like this for the rest of the podcast, by the way. Woo! The pain I go through to bring the content to the people. So, there's pretty much only one news topic I was really able to find of note for the four of us. Which is they showed off the first trailer for the third Jumanji movie, The Next Level. Which, I already asked this question before we started recording, but I'll ask it again for the sake of the audience. How many of us here actually watched the first two Jumanji movies?
I've seen the second one. I have not seen the first one.
Only the second one.
I haven't seen either.
I've probably seen collectively 5 minutes out of the first one, but I have seen the second one. But out of the three of us that have watched the second one, we can all generally agree it was actually a way better movie than it had any right to be, right?
Right.
Absolutely. I think it was one of my favorite movies of whatever year it was released in.
2017?
Yeah.
Like, when that movie was first announced, everyone and their mother, including myself, were like, wow, that looks like some sequel garbage. And it was actually a fairly enjoyable movie. Shockingly enough. And of course, because they can't leave well enough alone, there's going to be a third one. And yeah, the trailer guys are still not great at their jobs.
Yeah.
With that said, holy shit. Addy didn't get to see the trailer, so I hope he's excited for this concept. Whatever executive was like, alright, I want a movie where The Rock is playing Danny DeVito. Whoever pitched that guy needs a fucking promotion. So
I'm the trash man.
yes.
And I eat garbage.
And we got Kevin Hart playing... how did I forget his name as I was saying it? Danny Glover. So they very clearly were like, hang on, we got something here. We could have been doing stuff here. Like, Jumanji 2, easily the most fun aspect of the movie was, Rock playing a nerd and Jack Black playing a teenage girl. And they were like,
right.
We can do some more stuff with this concept.
There are more wells to be explored here.
So now The Rock is Danny DeVito. Kevin Hart is Danny Glover. Jack Black is now a young jock who is, of course, still much larger than Jack Black. That fucking jock gets stuck into the wrong person in every movie, doesn't he? You either get to be 4 feet tall or you get to be... Addy, you go ahead. I was going to say something stupid.
Bruce Willis gets added as a retired spy nanny.
That'd be entertaining. And of course, Karen Gillan is here, and I'm always happy for more Karen Gillan. I mean...
Yeah.
Oh, also that Jonas brother is there, I guess, too.
Which one?
Nick Jonas?
The one that just got married to the Bollywood actress.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
good-looking one.
I, look, I don't
I'll be
follow their
honest, I
lives.
don't know what the other two Jonas Brothers look like at all.
Well,
Look, I don't follow. Yeah, don't worry.
One just married Sophie Turner, I think.
Did they? Wow.
The
I don't
middle
pay
one?
enough attention.
Which one's the middle one? Was that Joe?
I can't remember.
Joe was the Lord. Was the
I
oldest
thought you were
one, I
about to
think.
say the large one.
That's what I was going to say. Joe was the largest one, but
You got your large-sized Joes, your medium-sized Joes. You got the small Joe over there.
Why-
Joe Jonas
why
was
does-
15 feet tall.
Why does Joe Jonas, the largest of the Jonas brothers, not simply eat the other Jonas brothers?
And take their power.
There's some Futurama gags which never get old, and that's one of them. Whew. But yeah,
There was Nick, there was Joe, and then there's the one that nobody cared about. That he's the middle.
I thought he was the oldest one.
I might be mixing it up. I don't know. I only freaking watch their Disney Channel shit.
And wasn't there a fourth one that's not famous at all?
I think you're thinking of the freaking Olsen twins.
The forgotten Jonas brother.
I don't
You
know.
say that like it's a Dark Souls subtitle. Like that's a Dark Souls subtitle. Bob Jonas, the forgotten one.
Yeah.
Just starts playing choir music in the background. Pass through the mist wall.
it comes up freaking the Olsen twins, the forgotten Jonas brothers. Don't ask questions.
Forgotten by society, maybe.
Yeah.
I love all
So-
those pictures where they put the Olsen twins, who now look like crack addicts, of course, because they probably were crack addicts. They put pictures of them with Scarlet Witch. Every time they have one of those pictures, it looks like Elizabeth Olsen is trying to protect them. Stay back! They're fragile.
But yeah, so
Don't
you
tap
were
the
right.
glass. They're scared of flashing lights. Keep going, Addie. I'm just making jokes at the expense of 4 child stars who are probably horribly abused.
Yeah. So you were right. Kevin is the oldest one. Joe is the middle one, and then Nick is the youngest one.
All right, we're up
So
on
Joe-
our Jonas Brothers lore.
Joe never was the largest one. It was Kevin all along.
So
What a plot twist.
they had to keep him at bay to prevent him from meeting them then.
Yeah.
Anyways, hey, again, the trailer for Jumanji 3, it's not great. They probably chose the worst gags in the movie. To be fair, Jumanji 2's best gag was one you can't really show in trailers. But it's such a weird place. Like, I want to be cynical, because anytime there's a, like, hey, sequel to an old, long-dead franchise starring The Rock and Kevin Hart and Jack Black, you want to be cynical. You really want to be cynical. Because those 3 stars are not conducive to good movies.
Are you saying that Jack Black is not the best actor of the universe?
Hey, he was pretty good in Bernie. It's just that's like the only semi-serious movie he's ever done. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that trend of comedy stars having to do serious work to be taken seriously. Who knows? But anyways, yeah, I want to be cynical, but Jumanji 2 was actually really good, and I was really cynical of that one.
Right.
So I'm not sure if I'm looking forward to this or not. Like, this
We remain skeptical.
This is the kind of situation where I'd want to say I'm cynical, but would happy to be wrong. But here, there's a distinct chance that I am wrong, but so I don't know if I can bank on being cynical so much. Are you guys particularly excited for it?
Yeah, a little. I also really do like Jack Black, so.
I like him too. I'm not big on Addie dogging on him. It's another grudge I'm gonna have to mark down against Addie.
I like Jack Black, dude.
But you will not be allowed to shame him in this dojo. The next time we play a game with friendly fire, you gotta watch your ass. Yeah. I also like Kevin Hart. I don't know why. He's not really talented, but, you know.
Yeah.
And The Rock's there too, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Recent. My favorite.
Three excellent
recent.
stars. Also The Rock.
Yeah. But yeah, freaking my recent biggest exposure to wrestling was how Batista commented on the new Fast and the Furious. The Furious, yeah.
Fast and the Furious. I think I know what comment you're about to say, but I guess we should hang on Fast and the Furious for a little bit. Is that just is that just the subtitle for the next Sonic game?
No, that's the subtitle for the film, for the second film.
Ah, of course.
No, it's Too Fast, Too Furious. Anyway, yeah.
Anyway,
So-
Fast and Furious, it's Garbo.
Yeah, people asked Batista if he would like to be in the new Fast and the Furious because Cena and Rock got in it, and he went, "No, I don't want to be in bad movies."
Admittedly, for a pro wrestler turned actor, he's actually probably got the best library.
Yeah,
Because, I mean, what's his competition? We got, like, Andre had Princess Bride, but that's it.
Spider-Man 2 for Macho Man.
Spider-Man
Right.
1.
Yeah. He was not in
Whichever.
the second one.
What's Rock's best
I
movie?
forget. The Tooth Fairy.
No.
Rock's best movie may be Moana, a movie that he was only the voice for. The less Rock there is in your Rock movie, the better it is.
I need to go look up everything he's done because there has to be at least one gem in all of his stuff.
Yeah, the Tooth Fairy, I told you.
Statistically speaking.
I mean, it's weird to think about, because I want to think of Dave Bautista as the hacky kind of garbage wrestler of the WWE who was notoriously bad at promos and once said, a place where weapons are not only encouraged, they're allowed. But when you think of Batista's movie history, he's been in Guardians 1, Guardians 2, both of the Infinity Gauntlet movies, Blade Runner, what was the other really good movie he was in? Like, he's done some crap, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, he's definitely got more actual good movies under his belt than anyone else to come out of the WWE.
He's also got way more
Charisma.
variety in his catalog because he's done B movies, he's done A-list movies,
And
he's done movies you've never even heard about.
he doesn't play himself in every movie. He's an actual fucking actor.
Right.
That's the key thing here. Rock, every movie that Rock's in, he is Rock.
I found The Rock's best movie. It was released in 2015. all of my freaking misspeaks are coming out today. Yeah. So it was released in 2015. It is titled Manny Pacquiao Becomes a Professional Wrestler.
When did that happen?
2015. I just told you.
Apparently. I just missed it.
No, I actually found his best one. 2007, Hannah Montana.
He was in Hannah Montana?
Yeah. In an episode, he was himself, apparently.
Yeah, he
How did
was.
that happen?
I don't know, I
You
don't
know-
remember even I watched this freaking series.
Okay.
Go ahead, Will,
so-
sorry.
Yeah, that happened like because I was watching it with the little ones. Anyway, yeah, they had to make it was really ridiculous because they were trying to get a photo of him very ridiculously to go in the paper so they could get paid, and they like put makeup all over his face, and then he caught them. It was really weird.
I think John Cena was there too. Which was
Oh,
one of John
man.
Cena's earliest acting roles.
Yeah.
Speaking of garbage wrestlers turned actors, I don't know. I've not watched Bumblebee. He might be good in that.
Scorpion
Ugh.
King.
Volk, are you sanding something over there?
No.
Sounds like he's taking
No.
sanding paper to
Hides,
something.
no. Hides away like freaking charged
Hides her
atom bombs.
woodworking kit.
Yeah.
What? No,
She's
I
got a
wasn't
sheet of
building a deck
sandpaper
over
and-
here. I wasn't building a deck over here. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
She's
mind
building an
your
ark.
own business.
She's building an ark.
All these earthquakes, eventually the Earth is just gonna open up, and she's gonna be prepared.
California's going to sink off into the ocean, and the American revolutionaries are taking over the airports. Crazy shit, man.
Volk is building a space ark.
She's going to go found a new human civilization on Mars of herself. Population 1. And now I'm just thinking of Magneto and Secret Wars.
But yeah, so other great movie in the Rock's catalog, Scorpion King.
Oh, God. Oh, man.
Was
Steve-
that his? Was
Yeah.
that his first movie in general, or just his first big movie after he left WWE?
No, his
It
first
wasn't
big
even-
movie would be Mummy 2, The Scorpion King,
Yeah.
which had the most notoriously bad CG of all time. I have seen that movie. Oh, boy. Yeah, that's probably the worst CG ever.
I have those. I'm pretty sure I have those movies on VHS. Once again, for like the 15th time I bring this up. But I'm not sure if it's the Scorpion King or the Bobby the Scorpion King or whatever the hell it is. But one of these movies are just titled Black Blade. Black was an African American blade.
Oh, pff. So then wouldn't it just be African Blade? Because I'm not going to lie, African Blade actually sounds like a cool name for a movie.
It does, but at the same time, you have to question why do they have to make that specification when, to my knowledge, there has never been a white blade.
But there are European blades. What else do you call like your typical broadsword? What was I going to say? I
Oh
guess
boy,
nothing.
Yeah.
What did you stumble on now?
The Rock was in Family Guy in 2010.
Well, I'm
Poor
sure if you
Rock,
look
he
hard
doesn't
enough,
deserve it that bad.
I'm sure if you look hard enough, everyone's been in Simpsons. Fucking Bret Hart was in Simpsons.
Yeah, he was in. Wasn't he in Simpsons multiple times?
He was in at least once where he was like helping Lisa with something.
Yeah, I remember he coming back like twice after that. I
Huh.
don't know why.
Um,
Oh yeah, Transformers Prime.
Oh, right,
Bret Hart
yeah.
was in Transformers Prime?
It was
Yes.
a cartoon. Ugh. Man, how old is that
What?
show?
Transformers Prime 2010, so 9 years, 9 years old. Was that the one with the shitty CG, like where everything was 3D, but it all looked like it was made in the early 2000s?
I think that was like when I was a kid. Did they not have the other Transformers series running at this around that time? The one where they were in Detroit, and Optimus had a really human-looking face.
That sounds disturbing.
Yeah, okay,
It was actually pretty good, but I don't remember the name of that series. And they mostly fought human criminals instead of Decepticons. It's always good
So,
when we're
yeah.
going for a Transformers talk, you know.
Yeah, all of us Big Mac fans.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, Rock playing Danny DeVito. Hopefully it's amazing. It doesn't look like Rock's putting his heart into it, but I feel like Kevin Hart may have actually been offended by everyone saying he did a bad performance in Jumanji 2, because he's actually playing someone other than himself for once.
It's a miracle.
Holy shit. And yeah, maybe, hopefully it'll be good. Yeah. Anyways, let's go ahead and mark down a timestamp.
Oh, hey, one sec. Did you know that The Rock has announced that he's gonna be in GTA San Andreas 2?
Pardon me?
Shut up, Addy. Addy, what's coming out in the coming week?
Right.
Okay, you know what? Let's stop
Yeah.
here. Let's go back and just for 1 second, I want to say that San Andreas movie, the first one, I saw it in a hotel once. I don't know if I mentioned it. It has got to be one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Absolute garbage. Like the Rock, the late 2000s Dwayne Johnson action movie Malaise. To me, San Andreas was the peak of it. It is the most boring-ass generic disaster movie you could think of, with every trope possible being hit.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't really like it at all.
Yeah. Anyways, Addy, what's coming out on the channel?
Right, so on Monday, people will see the first episode of a series that they might actually continue. We don't know yet. Borderlands, the pre-sequel.
Yeah!
Oh man.
And then, on the freaking Friday, that's the day, yes. On Friday, people will see Alex's birthday, Vermintide Volcano of Viscera.
Actually,
Oh,
not
man.
featuring Volc. That's actually really awkward timing that we are going to release that
Yeah.
one, and we're announcing it on a podcast featuring Volc.
Two very separate volcanoes there.
When I came up with that name, I was like, there's no way. Like, it might be a little weird, but there's no way. The odds are against it that we bring it up around Volc, and it's like, oh, fuck. The stars have aligned.
Yeah. So that's probably the last episode of Vermintide will do.
Yep, unfortunately.
So there's
I
that.
never got my handmaiden spear. Sad.
You never did. But I did get my freaking all of my characters to dual wield.
Heh. Wait, how did you get Sienna to dual wield?
I didn't play Sienna.
That doesn't count. Fuck you. Getting 2 characters to dual wield is not an achievement. You can do that. Hey, Addy, you also succeeded at For Honor by playing Berserker and Peacekeeper. Congrats, you got 2
Yeah.
characters to dual wield.
Also Aramusha.
Yeah. Oh, now you really succeeded. You should get an achievement. They should have gave you the platinum trophy for it. Anyways, yeah, is there anything else left that's coming out on the channel this week?
No.
Alright. Pink, you got anything coming out on your channel?
I'm gonna finally get those Stronghold episodes out, and aside from that, no, I've not recorded anything.
Sweet. Addy,
Yeah.
you got anything coming out on your channel?
On the second one, I'm going to release the editing process of your birthday Vermintide shit.
Sweet. Behind the scenes footage. First ever.
Yeah.
And is that it?
Yeah.
Alright. I got nothing coming out on my channel. I assume Volk has nothing coming out on her channel?
Yeah, I might have something Stranger Things related, but other than that, nah.
Ooh, oh boy. Oh god, are we gonna have to talk Stranger Things? Because I haven't started season 3 yet.
No, we don't have to talk about it if you haven't started. I
Pink, have you
finished.
sta-
I don't even know if Pink has finished, so
I actually did finish just today.
Oh,
okay.
okay, that means I probably should binge it this week. So we can talk
Yeah.
So we can talk about it next week. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Alright. So then I guess we'll just move on to what everyone's done this past week. Pink, what you been up to, man?
Well, as I just said, I finished Stranger Things 3. Very good. We'll save that talk for next week.
Okay, wait. I want let's go over just a little bit. Just a little bit while dodging some spoilers. Shall we?
Right.
Okay.
Teaser.
Now, I don't remember the names of most of the characters. I remember Steve's name. Obviously, I remember 11, because that's pretty difficult to forget. I remember Sheriff Hopper. Now I want to
Yeah.
ask, the bully that was Steve's rival, does he come back? Is he important?
Yeah,
Yes.
and his name is Billy.
Billy. Yep, that makes sense. Now that you say that, I remember that. So he is important. That's good to know, because he felt like a bit of a tangent in Season 2 who wasn't important.
Yeah.
Right.
Does Steve continue to be baseball bat mom?
No baseball bats.
Yeah.
Yes to the mom part, just a little bit though.
Aw, I'm
Yeah.
sad he lost the baseball bat.
Right.
That
Yeah.
was... No, you go ahead, Volk.
I was like, when you watch, you'll understand.
Okay. Because to me, like, one of the signature moments of Stranger Things is Steve, the character who up until that point has unapologetically been the douchebag boyfriend, stereotypical high school character. But then he's the one that dives in to save the two other teenagers when the monster shows up. To me, that's one of the definitive moments of Stranger Things, doing something cool and different, you know?
Yeah.
So I always kind of associate Steve with the old bat. Not only that, him versus the dogs in Season 2 was pretty great, too.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been something of an oddity, though. I gotta say one thing real quick before we move on. But Stranger Things Season 1, we watched the Demo Gorgon wipe out an entire squad. An entire fucking squad of highly trained soldiers. And then it goes up against Steve, and Steve's able to hold it off with a bat. Okay?
Do not underestimate Steve's power.
But then Steve gets his ass beat by Billy in Season 2.
Don't underestimate his power, I suppose. There's some
Billy
sort of triangle of power going on here.
Is Billy just the monster in Season 3? That's all they gotta deal with? Oh, man. So, what I'm really curious about, I guess I don't want you to spoil the nature of it too much, particularly considering the entire existence of the creature might be somewhat of a spoiler. But I am curious about how they're able to make a monster really a thing in Season 3, because Season 2, they did seal up the hole, right?
Right.
Yes.
And all the demo dogs were killed. Right?
Right. Right.
I
Yeah.
want to say right. Didn't Dustin let one go though?
No, they...
Um.
The one that was loyal to him sacrificed himself to save Dustin, remember?
That's right. That's right. I
Which
remember there was something important about that little devil dog, but I couldn't remember what.
I didn't like that they did that. To me, the demo dog was irredeemable the moment it ate the cat. Like, Stranger Things Season 2, to me, that was by far the hardest part. I couldn't stand that. now thinking about that makes me sad. One of you two mouth off about Stranger Things while I feel sad.
Okay. Like, what's not spoiler?
Ah, shit.
What's not spoiler? I will say, contrary to Season 2, when they introduced a bunch of, well, maybe not a bunch, but when they introduced new characters, none of the characters really stood out to me back then.
Yes.
But with Season 3, any characters that they've introduced this season have clicked with me right away, so that was a very nice change.
The only new character that really clicked out of Season 2's new cast was, oh, damn it. Samwise Gamgee, help me here. Damn it. Winona Ryder's new boyfriend.
Oh, Bob.
Bob was the only character that really stuck with me. They introduced the new girl in the group, and she was just kind of there.
Yeah.
Right.
And Billy was there to have the little feud with Steve, and then beat his ass, and then get scared off by the kids. And that was it.
Right.
Yeah.
The Doctor was alright. It was kind of neat how, like, in contrast to Season 1's Doctor, who was anything but a nice guy, having Season 2's Doctor actually be a good guy.
Yeah.
But does Season 3 make many new additions to the cast?
There are a few.
Yeah, they have a few.
And here's another question to follow up. Is there much of a time skip?
Yeah, a little bit.
we can say the time skip and it won't spoil anything, will it?
Yeah, it won't, because we already know it's in summertime, but they ended around Christmas time, so it's
So
been
it's
like
been about
6
6
months.
months.
Yep.
I think that was
Only
what they
6
said.
months since season
Yep.
2?
Yeah.
Yep.
That is way less time than I was expecting. Because those kids are getting older every day.
Right.
Like, it's been 2 years since season 2?
I do not know,
It's been
but
a while.
it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been like 2 years since that one was released, because it came out in 2017.
Yep, 2 years then.
Yeah. They followed right up on season 1 with season 2, but season 3 they took 2 years. Huh.
Yeah, the team, the crew's holding it back because they really want to make this one special.
Ah.
So,
Speaking of special, how would you say it compares to season 1 and season 2?
I think it was my favorite season.
Really?
I'm in agreement. I enjoyed season 3 far more than I enjoyed season 2, and probably more than I enjoyed season 1. It's very different because
I was about to say, there's the thing. Season 1, I would generally say, yeah, it's better than season 2. But season 2 tried to do something very different from season 1. Season 1 was very much
Right.
Season 1 was very much a mystery. Season 2 was very much assemble the Avengers. You know?
yes.
Yeah. Yes.
I was not as big of a fan of season 2.
Because it doesn't really work for the assemble the Avengers concept doesn't really work when there's only really 3 badasses on the team.
Right, because you've only got Steve, 11, and
Hopper.
I don't know, somebody else,
Yeah.
Hopper.
Yeah, Steve, 11, and Hopper, the only 3 who can actually hold their own in a fight. Everyone else might as well have not showed up.
Right.
Yeah.
That's such a weird team up. We got the badass armed to the teeth sheriff. We got the psychic superpowered little girl and teenage boy with a bat.
Yeah.
But what would you say season 3 does season 3 what kind of story does it aim for?
It's it's a bit of both of season 1 and season 2. It's got the mystery and it's got the assemble the Avengers. But the strength of season 3 is that it's less focused on the plot and more on the character interactions. Because I feel like that's where season 2 really suffered. Because to me, it felt like season 2 was more focused on the plot of it, which season 1 was as well, or at least as far as I can recall.
Yeah.
I've only watched through seasons 1 and 2 once, and I've never watched any episodes ever again.
There is definitely a noticeable like season 2 did have some like the infamously really bad episode of season 2 that nobody likes. The
The one that I skipped.
Yeah. That one was noticeably the weakest, partially because it felt like it was just world building, establishing that there are other numbers than 11. It's just there to say, like, there's more going on in this universe than just what's happening in
Hawkins, yeah.
Hawkins, yeah. Which, God, that is the weirdest, having a big national TV show that's set in Indiana.
Yeah.
Like, it was weird watching seasons 1 and 2, when that shit was pretty much in my backyard. Wait, did I watch season 2? What? Season 2 would have came out in 2017. I would have already been in North Carolina in 2017, right? When did season 2 come out? To Google.
Yeah. Google, save us.
Hang on. The season 2 was released. Okay, yeah, season 1 was 2016, season 2 was 2017. So season 2 would have come out when I was in North Carolina. What season 1? Hang on. What? The fucking gif of the lady with the numbers flying in front of her face right now.
Give me a sec. I found a good one of those.
Is it the one with Jeremy from Achievement Hunter?
No, it's better.
I would have had to have watched the first 2 seasons. I would have had to have watched all 2 seasons of Stranger Things in North Carolina, because season 1 would have came out after I moved. But I feel like I remember at least watching season 1 in Indiana. Fuck.
Here you go. It's a gift, so you just need to link it.
Yeah, I'll put that in the description if I remember to. That. Yeah, that's a pretty good gift. That's a pretty good gift. Yeah, it is definitely weird having a major TV series set in buttfuck Indiana, the backwoods, where I'm used to it not being even slightly relevant at all. And I guess that's the point of the series being set in Indiana, is it's set in somewhere that's not relevant.
Right.
But yeah, I'm excited. I'll try and binge that this week. All right. Did you do anything else this past week, Pink? Did you get started? Did you make any progress on The Good Place?
I did not make any progress on Good Place.
Okay, anything else?
I saw Spider-Man Far From Home.
We'll save that for the end.
We'll save that for the end.
Anything else?
Not to my knowledge. I think that's all the big things that happened this week.
All right. Addy,
Yes.
what'd you do this week?
Right. So, to follow up on last week's thing of me saying I got hired. For one. I have a job now.
Congrats.
Thanks.
You are now a functioning part of society. Did you do a big
Yeah.
job there?
Not yet. But yeah. So that.
All right.
It shouldn't be a problem with the recordings because even if I even if I go from 8 to 5, which is the usual time, even then I'll be home by 6, which is when we start. So yeah. As for video games, I started up Okami again. I recorded an episode of Okami and then trashed the recording because it was shit.
Yeah. Solo recording is fucking hard, man.
Yeah, it's not. The thing with Okami wasn't that it's hard. But for one, it's hard to speak when you're alone. Yes, but also I just kept doing the shittiest voices.
Yep.
Man, I talk to myself all the time. I don't know what your problem is.
Yeah. I do talk to myself all the time. The problem is making it entertaining. The problem is making it entertaining when you do it.
Yeah,
I think everybody talks to themselves all the time, unless they're, like, dumb. They just don't... Like, there's a difference between what is voicing your thoughts aloud to yourself and talking to yourself. You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the only good thing that came out of that recording session is that I got to freaking work on my Sonic impression because I gave Isun
You
the
call
Sonic
that
voice.
a good thing?
It was something that I can use later on.
For Sonic Unleashed?
Sure. Get ready, boys. We're going to freaking Fino Island. That's Super Mario Sunshine.
I was about to
Yes,
say,
it is.
Yeah, you said Delfino, and I was like, what?
get ready, boys. We're going to the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah.
We're going to the new Silent Hill level, Sonic Silent Hill Zone. You can't run away from your past, Sonic.
just wait until we boot up Sonic Unleashed and there's just a new DLC called Big Adventure and it just boots up Death Stranding.
There is a moment from Super Best Friends. I need to link you, Addy, because you would just love it. Where, you know what? I'll put a reminder for myself in the Watchtower. But anyways, go ahead.
So yeah, that happened. That sure as hell happened. I'll probably like. I have an issue with just abandoning games recently, so I'm gonna have to actually.
I mean, there
yeah.
are certainly periods where it's like, well, I want to get deep into something. I want to sink my teeth into something. So you just try 10 different games out of your backlog and bounce off of all of them.
I don't have a backlog like that. My backlog right now is genuinely just Okami. So
I thought
yeah.
you beat Okami.
No.
Oh.
No, I wanted to beat it. I got pretty far, and then I was like, I'll come back to this later, and then I never did.
Mhm.
So I feel like the best motivator for me would be to actually record that shit, because sometimes I enjoy things more if I'm recording. But for that I would actually need to shoot something that doesn't suck ass. So with that being the case, I moved on to other games. Okami, by the way, is still fun. Just as a side note.
I need to play through
So,
it at some point.
other.
I'm sorry? Eddie? Eddie? Eddie!
Your internet died. Your internet died.
I know. What were you saying?
But yeah. So that I booted up Sonic Mania again. Shit, things are going bad. Right. Can you hear us, W?
I can hear you. I've heard you. I've heard you for this entire time.
I'll take that.
Oh, Jesus. Well, okay. I can hear you, but you can't hear me, evidently. Fuck me. That's awesome. And I just see your icons blinking. But I don't know what it means.
Alright.
The icons. What do they mean? What do they mean?
Right. So, can all of us hear each other now? Is everything fixed?
I've been able to hear you this entire fucking time.
I couldn't hear you though. It was all freaking cutting in and out and just crushed to hell. So yeah.
Quick, go.
Right, Sonic Mania. I booted up again because I think I'm halfway in that as well. And then I went, oh right, I remember why I stopped, and then stopped again.
I could have told you that. You were... I distinctly remember you being like, so I tried Sonic Mania, found out I don't like Sonic.
It's not just that, but the part where I'm stuck is a flying level, and they suck especially.
Flying
they
level?
are... Yes, you're on the tornado with tails. And it's like a shoot 'em up, but you can't shoot. You have to hit people by jumping on them, but also you can fall off the tornado and die.
Weird? Okay.
Yeah, it has some correction to it, but say we want to speed dash because you want to hit someone without jumping. Well, Sonic just jumped off into his death.
Yeah, I would not trust any auto-targeting system in a level like that. To be honest, in a 2D game that's supposed to be like classic Sonic, I wouldn't trust an auto-targeting system in any manner to begin with.
So yeah, Sonic. I don't think I will actually be able to beat Sonic Mania unless somebody freaking 2 players it with me, if that's even an option. And if it's not, then I'm just gonna delete it.
Pink.
Pink
I volunteer Pink as tribute.
Pink will have to buy a PS4.
Yeah. Not for the forest, not for Spider-Man. For Sonic Mania.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go ahead and... Pink, are you alive?
No. Pink is dead.
Volc,
Sonic
are you
Mania.
alive? Oh, Jesus. Well, there goes...
Sonic
He
killed
just
Pink.
disappeared.
I killed him. I killed Pink. It was a mercy killing. He was...
Sonic murdered Pink. He has PTSD.
When did I get kicked?
I had to kick
Right.
you. You were dead. We couldn't hear you. You were muted.
I had no idea.
Yeah. We were talking about you with Sonic Mania and you weren't saying anything. We're like, what the hell?
My little voice connected thing covers up my little avatar down there, so I didn't even notice.
Oh, Jesus. Do you
So yeah.
not have the ability? Do you not have the ability to scroll down?
I just scrolled down.
Okay.
I didn't realize it would be a problem, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Pink, we've decided that you have to buy a PS4 for Sonic Mania specifically.
Yes, I did hear you. I could hear you. I just couldn't respond.
All right.
I swear the forest from the forests from the cannibal. Yes, the cannibals from the forest are just sitting and waiting, like looking at their non-existent watches.
Yeah.
When are we gonna start this shit? Oh man.
The forest will be our 5-year anniversary series.
Yeah.
Maybe by then we'll be able to fundraise a PS4 for Pink.
Please donate money so we can buy a video game console.
We are
Yeah.
in dire need.
Don't give
Please
this,
go to our.
don't give this money to the hungry.
Don't give the money to the hungry.
They'll
Give it to
only
the
buy
hungry.
food with it. Food
No,
is,
no,
food
no,
is
yeah.
temporary. Video games are forever.
Dumb, don't give the money to the hungry. Give it to the Hungary.
God damn it!
food
I
is
figured Hungarians would not make the stupid Hungary puns, but apparently not. No, I guarantee you, in the United States, 90% of the mentions of the country of Hungary are exclusively for puns about its name.
food is temporary. Glory is eternal. But yeah,
Oh, God.
where were we? Right, Sonic Mania. What the hell else did I do? Right.
Sonic deleted the rest of your memory. Only Sonic now.
Yeah, only Sonic remains. Oh right, I played Bridge Constructor Portal. It's not a good port.
Oh,
Well, I mean, there's nothing especially bad about the port.
would
It's
you
just that
say
the
it's not a good portal?
yeah,
See, I can make puns too, motherfucker.
but yeah. So, like, the issue isn't that it has like bugs or anything. It's actually pretty alright in that regard. It's just that I don't like the controls. I feel like they're sluggish.
I believe you.
Like Bridge Constructor, I feel like is very obviously made for mouse and keyboard, and I'm not sure if it has compatibility with those on the Xbox, but I didn't try. Yeah. Other than that, I'm not sure if it's just me, but I'm really sick of these indie games getting it on the Portal IP and then just using it to make really long and shitty jokes.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Because it's, for example, the tutorial. The tutorial would be in this game. The tutorial would be like 1/10 the length had they cut out all of the shitty flavor text.
Okay, how many Cake is a Lie references were there?
There weren't any yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird to think. I don't know how much of the development team for Portal Bridge Constructor was the same development team for the original Portal games. The developer for the original Portal games regrets writing the Cake is a Lie joke because he hates how much it's been repeated.
It is a day he will curse forevermore. the day he wrote that joke.
Yeah.
The Skyrim guy feels the same way, I'm sure.
I used to be okay with.
That mean probably prints money for Bethesda. He's not regretting that shit.
Is he the one getting paid for it, though?
I'm sure he might be getting paid. I don't know. They may just be whipping him.
I used to be a criminal scum like you, but then I violated the law.
The fucking Skyrim guard lines are all memes. It was impossible to avoid having them be memes because, for one thing, there's a million Skyrim guards everywhere you go. For another thing, they only have like 20 lines. And they are so vocal. Either you're hearing something about the sweet rolls, something about the arrows in the knees, something about, I don't know, curved swords. The curved swords line was the one that got me. Arrow in the knee and sweet roll I could deal with, but curved sword, I got sick of curved swords immediately. Fuck it. Curved swords. Curved swords. Shut up! Like,
The guy starts drinking off. The guy starts drinking off. Curved swords. Curved swords.
Yeah,
just,
no fucking
just
kidding.
jerks up more violently.
Like, it's moments like those that I am actually tempted to switch to Addie's playstyle and kill people for bothering me.
The thing is, I only play like that for the show. I usually don't.
That's a beautiful thing about this, doing this idiotic YouTube stuff. There's that old, what was it, a Japanese proverb or whatever that says that people have 3 masks, one for themselves, one for their friends and family, one for public. We get to have a 4th.
One for the internet.
No, we have one for ourselves, one for our friends or family. We have one for the common people, and we have Shrek.
You actually made me spit my drink, you fucker. Oh god, there's fucking mineral water everywhere. Thanks.
No.
Somebody keep going while I make sure it didn't get on anything.
Right. So. Oh, bloody hell. I also went back to GTA San Andreas, and then I remembered why I stopped playing that game. To continue on this
That
train of
was a
thought.
good game back in the day.
Was it the goddamn train, CJ?
No, I got past the goddamn train. I can get it past on the second try now.
I've played that game like once every 5 years, and every time I get stopped at the goddamn train, CJ.
I completed that mission on the first try, and I never understood why so many people had problem with that.
What are you, a fucking wizard?
Maybe, but the thing is, I got stuck on the plane missions. I could never
Everybody gets
progress
stuck
through
on
the
the plane
story
mission.
because I could never get past the flying tutorial.
Oh, great. Flight school?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. As if that wasn't rough enough. In the new games.
I think the part I'm stuck at right now in that game is when you have to hold your breath underwater for a while to put up your diving skill or whatever they have to do Woozy's mission. Because I'm not gonna grind shit.
You don't actually have to do that, do you?
I don't know. I don't remember how you actually have to do missions.
I
don't
could
have to
swear
stick
that
with
you
it
can
or
do all of Woozy's missions without having to increase your lung capacity.
No, you do have to. You can't do the mission unless you can swim real good. It just tells you to freaking go to hell.
Yeah. Actually, now that you say that, yeah, I think you're right. I think I did have to spend some time underwater.
I find with sections like that where they have that kind of demand of you, I just do it while I'm doing something else.
Yeah.
Like, I will honestly sometimes just be playing 2 games at once.
Yeah, let me go give CJ a bath real quick, and let me do something else, something productive.
Yeah, the issue with that is that I don't feel like I should grind because I'm not having fun with the game anyway. So there's no end goal for me. I just wanted to play through San Andreas to see what all the fuss was about, but
Did you find Sasquatch?
No.
Then you.
Is that all the sauce was about? The Sasquatch. Anyway,
Pretty sure Sasquatch didn't actually exist.
no, it didn't.
Shut up.
I can confirm that I spent several hours looking for him.
But it is a well-known fact that that one burned down house in freaking Beckas County. I don't remember which part of the map it is actually, but that one burnt down house is haunted. And if you go to it, then freaking a realistic ghost will come out of your TV and then haunt you for the rest of your life.
I believe it.
Really, guys.
Also, you can turn hot coffee mode back on by entering up, down, left, right, X, triangle.
You can turn hot coffee mode back on by inserting your dick into the disc tray.
Don't say
believe
that.
it.
Someone might actually try it. Me and Addie were talking about stupid people before the recording. You guys hear about all this shit with the fucking gamer girl bathwater shit?
What?
So there's this chick. I don't know if she's an Instagrammer or a YouTuber or something, but she like advertises herself as like a gamer girl, so to speak. And she's been selling her bath water to like I guess incels who are buying it and drinking it. And
That sounds wildly disturbing
and it sold
and
out.
unsanitary.
It sold out. I'm not the kind of person to gag at things that I find disgusting. I gagged at that shit. Drinking someone else's bathwater.
That is called natural selection.
Yeah, oh boy, I told W that like I don't really get shocked by this shit. I'm just made to think you're in a bad timeline. Like Link has failed.
Link has failed. Ganondorf has won. All hope is lost.
We've entered the Ganondorf wins timeline. It's time for Legend of Zelda 1.
That's why he got buffed in Smash. That's why he actually became a character.
We all have to remember Dodongo dislikes smoke.
It's dangerous to go alone. Take this. It's a jar of bathwater.
Enjoy your dysentery.
Throw it at incels to keep them away.
Throw it at Ganondorf. It hurts him.
He's a witch now. When did that happen?
Also, Link is replaced by Richter Belmont.
I heard Richter Belmont. I was like, what is that?
Wait, are you saying that this girl's bathwater is holy water, Addy?
I don't know. No, it's the other version. It's the unholy water we came up with.
It's satanic water.
Satan water! Get that devil water away from me!
It's Satan water. It
puts a new meaning on devil in a bottle, that's for sure.
It's the devil's water. If you drink it, it makes you be high. It's actually just this distilled marijuana in bath water.
Devil water, it's legal in Canada.
Yeah. And there's also the exotic smoked water that is made by leaving the bath water be with like 30-centimeter thick smoke on the water.
Can't you just make that by vaping bath water?
Probably.
What are we talking about?
I don't know.
This is the wonderful part of every podcast where we just... So, some of us brings up something stupid someone else did on the internet, and we all try to make it increasingly absurd.
Yeah. You need a very high haiku. Yeah.
You need a very high haiku to have Heidenreich rape the bathwater.
Yeah. Boy. You need a very high IQ to understand the FOS jokes.
Oh god. Just going directly up our own asses with this.
Well, I mean, I'm just reciting a copy pasta, so.
Oh god.
Oh boy. Right. So other than that shit, I checked out the Spider-Man Far From Home designs in Spider-Man PS4. They do exist, yes.
Right, I forgot about that until I actually started up the game. I was like, hey, wait, the Far From Home suit's there. Oh, right, I'm an idiot.
I have to say that I do like the new basic design better than the old one.
The Ditko suit.
Yeah. I like it better than the Stark suit. I'm not sure what the actual name for it was. But that's what they call it in the game, I think.
This is kind of still a Stark suit, but it's more of a... It's complicated. I won't talk about it because it's kind of a spoiler, but not really a relevant spoiler.
But you have to go...
irrelevant, but still.
Why'd you have to go and make things so complicated?
Yeah.
I want the freaking Spider-Man to be themed by Avril Lavigne.
She basically is Avril Lavigne.
Yeah. I would have said that I wanted her to play Spider-Gwen, but also she's a bit too old at this point, I think. Anyway, yeah. So that. Oh, and then the big one. I played a shit ton of Guilty Gear Xrd Rev 2.
Right.
So-
Did you try anyone other than Johnny?
No, because I'm just trying to learn how to play Johnny, and then I move on to Chip, and then I move on to Raven, and then I just have a freaking spiral of learning all the characters.
Except
Hopefully.
Jam.
I don't hate Jam. I don't hate playing as Jam. I hate facing like half the roster though.
Ha!
Jam is the one I hate the most. No, actually, she has been replaced. She has been dethroned. Jam,
Bedman.
because Jam. No, Batman can be shit because he can just stall lock you, but Batman is still like if he stall locks you, then just whatever. But then there's Dizzy.
Ha!
So Dizzy right now is my least favorite character to play against because she has projectiles coming at me from everywhere, and because I'm not Chip yet, I can just teleport.
Yeah.
Once I'll be able to just teleport, Dizzy won't be as much of an issue.
I
But yeah.
would wait. I would guess. I mean, it's an Arxis game, so air maneuverability is high. But at the same time, I was never able to beat the Midnight Carnival in Guilty Gear XX, so I probably don't know all there is to know about air dodging in Guilty Gear.
I mean, neither do I probably. It's just that with how the level of the AI plays at the place I am, basically what Dizzy does is Dizzy launches a projectile that goes diagonally down in the air while also putting up a laser both in the air and on the ground. so basically, I'm fighting small Galactus,
Yep.
and yeah. But while she has these, because these are
I want to
Yes?
mention the contrast. Like NetherRealm has a zoner character, and it's Deadshot. And Deadshot fires out a single bullet, and you can't get around him, and you're like, fuck. Then zip on over the Japanese Hyperfighter, where the zoner is like a guy who's covering the entire screen in fireballs and lasers and rockets and traps and mines. Like,
You have to maneuver around all that like it's Pac-Man.
Yeah.
not even Pac-Man, like it's Toho.
Oh, God.
So I'm not sure how much any of you know about Toho, and I mean I haven't played it either. But basically, my knowledge of Toho is on the harder levels, there's like 1 pixel where you won't die. So yeah, that's
Look, you
that's
have a
nice,
game
yeah.
that is bullet hell shoot 'em up plus waifus. You have solidly created a concoction of the video game I have the least interest in possible.
I like bullet hells sometimes. Like I'm actually gonna go out of character and say something good about Undertale. I like the fighting system of Undertale because it reminded me so much of bullet hells.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with, like, Binding of Isaac, but with Binding of Isaac, I prefer the roguelike elements. Does Binding of Isaac count as a bullet hell?
No,
Ah.
that's really.
Okay, I don't know any. I don't like bullet hells then. Any bullet hells. Fuck them all.
Like I don't know about how hard it gets Binding of Isaac, because I didn't watch a lot of it, not about it. So maybe it counts as a bullet hell in the later stages, but the ones I saw were just normal twisting shoot 'em up shit. But yeah,
Dude, I think all twin stick shoot 'em ups are bullet hells.
not all of them are. In fact, there are side scroller shoot 'em ups or vertical shoot 'em ups that are bullet hells. So, and I mean those are not twisting because,
Fuck.
well, what are you gonna do with the second stick?
I spit mineral water again.
So yeah. So basically, my biggest issue has been getting around Dizzy's wall of defense, which is all of the lasers while also dashing at me and doing freaking normals. And it's like the worst part is that the AI times it perfectly. So all of the things hit me at the same time. So she locks me down with the laser. Then the projectile hits me, so I can't jump away. And then by that point, she's like in my face.
Past a certain
So
point, your only option is to crouch.
that's not an option because I'm pretty sure that she starts her string bit on overhead.
Oh, of course she does. Huh. Backdashing? Back jumping?
It works to a certain point, but the laser cover. Once again, works to a certain point, but when you're up against the edge of the screen, that's not really an option. And also, you're just basically playing into her hand because she wants you in the corner.
Neutral jump.
And also, I think the internet died again. Yours did, I mean.
Yeah, I can hear you, but I don't think you can hear me. Yeah, that okay. What about neutral jump?
Okay, now.
What about neutral jump?
Neutral jump. Yes, sometimes it works. Basically, basically what I've been doing is because wherever the laser it covers the rest of the screen wherever it points. Well, in its radius. So, what I've been doing is I do a normal or neutral jump and then I dash in this way and hope that gives me enough space to actually not die.
All right.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And yeah, Guilty Gear, very freaking fun. I just learned how Roman canceling works because I did a tutorial to Sign that tried to explaining all the different versions of Roman canceling, but I didn't get it. So I was like, I'll just get around to it later. So in the meantime, I bought Revelator 2. And then I was like, well, I feel like I'm doing pretty alright with Johnny now. So I suppose it's time that I revisited Roman canceling because that seems like a big thing. So I went back to the tutorial in this game and bloody hell, the tutorial surprised me because it's really good.
Yeah, the tutorial for Guilty Gear is actually great.
It's much better than the one inside even. Because inside it's just a tutorial. I mean, there's some story behind it and all that, but it's basically just a tutorial. In Revelator 2, it's a separate minigame mode.
Yep.
So yeah.
I want to go ahead and put things in perspective for Pink here, though. Well, and Volc, though. Volc, how much time have you had in fighting games?
Lots of time.
Volc plays at Evo every year.
Alright.
It just depends on the game.
Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and describe to you guys what a Roman cancel is. First of all, I don't know why it's called a Roman cancel. But basically...
Because it's Roman got all over your face.
Guilty Gear has a system where if you're in the middle of... Is it any normal move, or can special moves be Roman canceled?
Special moves can be Roman cancelled because I have done it a couple of times with Johnny, yeah.
Okay, any move in Guilty Gear you can cancel at any point in the animation by spending a little meter. So you can just ignore the recovery animation on several of the moves your character has. Which is a central basis of how nuts Guilty Gear can be at times. Because think of all the characters that you enjoyed in a fighting game that still were a little too slow or left themselves vulnerable all the time, right? And I think Pink is dead. Is Pink dead?
Nope, I'm still here.
Alright. So you can just cut the recovery off of any move you want to keep going into a combo, regardless of how big that move was. So, yeah, that's part of what makes Guilty Gear so nuts. I don't think
That sounds horrifying.
Yeah, imagine Ginyu combos, but they never stop.
No!
I like how
it's the same developer too. Again.
Yeah, it is. So I like how that never freaking saw the light of day, but Pink still has PTSD of Ginyu.
I like the if we ever do anything else of their games, like I'm pretty sure Ginyu is the only character in fighting game history to have that as a super, where you can just steal the other person's character.
Shang Tsung.
Well, he can steal your moveset, but he can't just steal your character. Like, the
Yeah,
thing about
true.
Ginyu
Yeah.
was that you could just steal Pink's fresh new character and get a fresh new character, and he'd be stuck with Ginyu.
Yeah, I remember he rage quit because I got him to got him to beat me until like Magic Pixel, and then I switched places with him. That was fun.
Pink, what
It
you
was
needed to
terrible.
do, Pink, you just needed to go into practice mode with Ginyu and make him your new main.
I mean, he was mine. I was the all purple team.
Right, but regardless of who Pink picks, Ginyu is his new main.
Yeah.
Ah.
I was so sad that that video got torched.
Oh, how do you think I feel? I actually did really well there. That's one of the only fighting game videos we have where Addy doesn't dominate. Or, well, where he doesn't dominate me. You weren't so lucky.
But this is that we all need to shell out $60 for freaking Dragon Ball Z Fighters, obviously, because all of us will play it religiously.
Yeah, I'd like to shell out this game for a roster of half Goku.
Yeah. I don't even like Dragon Ball.
Oh god. I don't think any of us here like Dragon Ball. I think all of us have a short list of Dragon Ball characters we might like. Except Volc.
Yeah.
Volc, have you had any exposure to Dragon Ball?
Not unless it's a meme.
Outside of memes.
All right,
Yeah,
so
nope.
so Volk's favorite character is Vegeta.
Ah. Anyways, Guilty Gear, Addy. Wrap it up.
Yeah, Guilty Gear, very freaking fun.
Have you tried
I'll see it-
Slayer?
Yes.
How do you feel about Slayer? I have to know because Slayer's my main.
I like Slayer.
I love Slayer. He's my boy. He is
The-
by far
these-
the strangest character in that game, by all means, because he does not work on usual combo logic at all.
The strangest character, Faust in the corner.
Well, Faust is strange when you look at his animations, but his gameplay structure makes sense. He's just zoner.
Dude, he's super though.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. That super's pretty fucking weird. I mean, when I call Slayer a huge weirdo, I mean in terms of his normals and combo structure. If we're just gonna talk about weirdest in terms of overall moveset, the winner of that contest is definitely Bedman.
I'd say it's either Batman or Raven.
Yeah, Raven's
overall
pretty
moveset.
weird. Yeah. What about the businessman ninja?
Oh, Answer.
Yeah.
Answer's fun. Answer's fun. Answer is basically Ibuki if Ibuki could summon scores to teleport to.
Ha! If we ever force Pink to play Guilty Gear, we all know who his main's going to be.
Baiken.
No, business ninja.
No, he'll probably pick Baiken. I mean,
Baiken's too unironically badass.
Yeah, I love Baiken. I wish I could choose one main for it to be Baiken,
Okay,
but I can't.
But,
Yeah.
I don't know. Pink, which do you prefer? Badass one-eyed, one-armed samurai woman with hilariously large cleavage, or business ninja?
Does Business Ninja wear a business suit and carry a briefcase?
He does
Yes.
not carry a briefcase, but he does shoot. Instead of throwing stars and kunai, he throws out his business cards.
Oh man, that's a strong selling point right there.
And the entire match, he is on a phone call.
Yep, that makes up my mind.
All right, so Pink is main answer. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we'll ever be able to get to it on our F2 party, but we should somehow.
Oh man.
If only it wasn't so expensive.
Yeah. Games don't really go down in price anymore. It's weird. They just kind of stick.
Yeah, I call it the Nintendo effect.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Anything else,
But-
Eddie?
And let me think. Frickin' Disney is trash tier waifu. There you go.
You are super right there. I was considering saying it when you were bringing up Dizzy, but I decided it was off topic. But yes, Dizzy is the worst. Dizzy is the creepiest.
Obviously, Michael is the best.
Dizzy is the opposite of May. Do you ever think about that? Dizzy is the opposite of May.
Which May?
Because May with the anchor.
Ah.
Because
Yeah.
May's supposed to be like 20. But boy, does she not look it. And then conversely,
May's
there's Dizzy.
20?
May is supposed to be an adult.
She looks like she's 8.
I know. I guess she's just short.
I mean, okay. I mean, I guess that puts her conversations with Johnny in a different light. Because I was like, how is he not freaking creeped out by the pedophilia? He might be playing pedophilia, but I guess it's not pedophilia then.
Johnny, captain of the pedo boat.
Yeah.
And then there's Dizzy, who is like 5. But boy, does she not look it.
Yeah, Dizzy,
That
who's like
is the number one shit that keeps me away from Guilty Gear. Dizzy.
Dizzy.
And May.
Dizzy, who is like 5, but also a 500-year-old dragon.
Yes, and she also is the mother of Sin, and Sin's like 2, but
Sid is 3, I think.
yes. Well, okay, then Dizzy's like 6, then probably. And then Sin is like 3 years old, and looks
boy.
like he's in his 20s.
But that makes Key a pretty big pedo, though.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? And then there's the question of Soul, who's like, but wait, Key. But didn't it turn out that Key is? Didn't it turn out Key is like also along the same lines as Dizzy and Sin?
I don't know. I don't think he's supposed to be a gear or whatever they're called. I forget the terminology.
I think it did turn out in like Sign's ending that he's a gear.
I'm gonna have to reinstall Sign and watch the story mode, or just watch it on YouTube. Actually, I'll probably do the second one.
And is Soul a gear?
I don't remember. I don't think.
Even if he is, he'd probably still be like one of the oldest gears.
Yeah. Guilty Gear.
Pink,
Story, yes.
Volcano, are you bored yet?
I have no
Oh,
idea
no.
what's going on.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the new Gears of War. imagine,
Radical.
imagine if in Gears of War 6 or whatever the next one is, you could do freaking Roman cancels.
You kind of can. Do you not know about the active reload system?
I do. I played the second one.
We need. I know you vocally oppose me every time, but we still need to do some of the Gears. We need to do some of the Gears games at some point.
I hold it. Yeah.
I just need to saw you in half with a chainsaw, Addy. I just got to do it.
It needs to be done
I,
for
I-
the
I fir-
people.
I firmly hold the opinion that all of the Gears games suck.
The
Oh,
people
very-
demand it.
I hold the opinion that they are quality third-person shooters, bad cheesy story, and I don't know about Gears 4 and going forward because I've not played those. I've not played Judgment either. Was it Judgment? Was Judgment the name of it?
Yeah. I don't know about most of the games. I just know that I owned like all of the series because Brian gifted me them.
Yeah.
Because he was like, I don't need this shit. So-
I mean, was Gears 2 the only one you
Yeah.
played? Okay, I think you can't hear me again, so I'm just going to keep talking until you can hear him. I'm just going to keep talking until Addy can hear me. And I'm just going to go ahead and mention...
Okay, now I can hear you.
Okay. Was Gears 2 the only one you tried?
No, I played through all the way through Gears 2. Gears 2. I also played a bit of Gears 3 before Gears 2 actually, because I got it with my 360. But then I gifted it away because I didn't like it. So, yeah.
Because there's a pretty big difference in the Gears games. Gears 1 is definitely very slow. Gears 2 is kind of in between. Gears 3 is very fast. But overall, I felt Gears 2's campaign was the weakest of the series. Particularly that ending, which was the dumbest. Remember the
I don't-
Gears 2 final boss fight?
I don't remember the final stretch of the game. I just remember being really bored in the Fun Factory.
Yeah. Okay. The final boss fight of Gears 2, you have to fight the big monster that's been covered in the poison goo, right? And you
Yeah.
have to fight it by shooting it with a space laser while you're in a helicopter. So you just need to point at him for 10 seconds. And that's the final boss fight.
Oh, nice.
It's solidly one of the worst final boss fights of all time for just how absurdly easy it is.
Yeah, the only parts I'm remembering of Gears 2 it is being born in the freaking factory, being in hell or whatever the hell, and then also they moved out of the freaking like some cave system. They moved out of that or like something that I for whatever reason I'm remembering was the Mr. Garrison thing from South Park, the the big circular cars.
Fuck. Okay. I don't know where you get that from, but okay, I'll just imagine Marcus Phoenix doing that.
Uh, but yeah.
Alright, you do anything else this week?
Let's see. Oh right, I watched through all of Agretico.
I've heard good things about Agretzko. But I want to know, is Agretzko a me IRL type show?
VIRL. No, not really. But then the thing that the kind of content I associate with VIRL or IRL is I wanna die, and it's just VIRL. That's it.
Because, yeah, ordinarily, the me IRL stuff and the relatable meme stuff tends to boil down to I hate people, I want to die. And that is beyond overdone, and I don't think it's healthy for society and all that. And I could mouth off a bunch of serious philosophical stuff, but this isn't the time or place for it. All I can say is I have solidly no interest in it. So is that what Agretzko is about?
No, I mean, people. The person I heard talking about it said that she hates all of the people around her, but I didn't see it in the show. Like, yes, there are annoying people in her life who are shown to be annoying to the viewer, but there's also her friends, and I mean, she doesn't hate them.
Well, she might discreetly.
Yeah, I mean, if she hates them, we weren't shown, or at least I didn't pick up on it. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's I hate all people, I want to die. It's more I hate social interaction, and I'm really fed up
Okay, so you're saying it's not a series for me.
because
Okay, alright, my internet has died. That's awesome.
you're cutting out again.
Yeah! It's amazing. I gotta keep talking for the recording so that there's not dead air. How are you doing, audience? I'm doing good. I'm drinking this
All right.
mineral water.
No,
Hoping
no,
that
now
it-
I can hear you. Yes.
Yeah, he's back.
Well, it looks
So-
like I've still got one red bar, so oh, there we go, 3 green. We're good.
Booyah.
So yeah, like sometimes the way that she reacts to things is a bit too much, but by sometimes I mean literally one time that I can point out in the whole series, in the whole 2 seasons. I mean,
Does she kill somebody?
no, but there's a time where she gets pissed off. Oh no, actually, there's 2 times. All right. So there's this one time where she gets pissed off at a store clerk for being pushy, which fair enough. How she reacts is an overreaction, which is why I'm saying that it's a bad reaction. But like I see where they were trying to go with it. The other time, it's about she has to give money for a wedding because that's the thing they do in Japan, I guess. And so she has to live in poverty for that whole month because she couldn't afford the usual sum of money that people give normally. And so she just gets frustrated about having to give the money over. And it's like, I see how this is valuable commentary on the social issues in Japan, but also you could have just not given that much and
I'll be honest.
whatever. Yeah.
I think you and I are in opposite situations here. You want a series that you can relate to as someone who is bothered by social interactions. I am honestly more interested by the idea of a person who reacts with crazy over-the-top reactions to slight social annoyances.
She does that. But a lot of times I didn't mind it. Like these are the two worst points that I can point. The worst two reactions that I can point out. Because like she gets annoyed at the workplace a lot of times, and you can see why. She gets annoyed by her helicopter mom, who is trying to freaking act matchmaker.
Did you say
Understandable.
helicopter mom?
Yes.
Her mom is a helicopter?
Yes.
I need to watch this show.
The character was made by the
advertising, Addy. You false advertised to Pink.
You have taken advantage of me.
I mean, Pink might still like it. It was made by the people who made Hello. And it's also on Netflix and also like 15 minutes episode. So yeah.
Of all the things you mentioned there, I think the only thing that has me interested in it is the short amount of time it is.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I've sat through enough TV shows in the last week, and I gotta fucking sit through Stranger Things season 3 as well. So I'll have to pass.
So yeah, like it's not even that I want to be. I mean, I don't look for relatable shit in media, but because like I feel like things being relatable has gone too far. Like everything has to be relatable now, or it's not good, and I disagree with that. But yeah, it's just that it just so happened that I'm also a shit person who hates everyone. So I happen to relate to Retiko rather, because yeah, that's her name. Other than that, the jokes are pretty good. I have a couple of favorite characters.
You cut out there.
Guy who doesn't speak
Is
at
Addy
all.
cutting out for
All right.
Oh god. Oh nope, it's me. It is definitely me.
Yeah, it
shit,
was
it was
fun on
you.
my end.
Yeah, he's fine.
So, what did I cut off for you?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Basically, after you finished up your thing of saying that you think that too many people focus on relatable characters, but you do relate to Gretzko.
Yeah. So, what did I even say? Frickin'. Alright, let's just restart this. So, there are a couple of characters. I have a couple of favorite characters in the show just because of their stupidity, and the jokes there are a lot of good jokes in my opinion. For example, there's this one character that's only in the first season, so he doesn't overstay his welcome, and even then, he's not really overused in my opinion, though some people might disagree. He's this yoga teacher guy that doesn't speak at all, aside from saying one word, which is protein. And people understand what he says. Like, people other than Retsuko understand what he says.
So he's Groot. He's Hodor.
Yeah, he is. He's also actually magic, like for real.
So he's
But-
Groot.
Yes. That guy is fun. There's the resident Ted Mosby called Haida. Am I cut off for W again?
No, I can hear you. I just don't have anything to say.
Alright. So yeah, there's the resident Ted Mosby Haida, who spends both seasons trying to get together with Retsuko, but because he's Japanese, he can't just talk. He's unable of speaking.
Of course.
Yeah. Uh, there's the other girl protagonist, the friend that I forget her name, Fedako. Right, that's her name. There's her. She thinks that she's better than everyone else, but she spends all the time on social media trying to spy on people, which I also sort of understand because I spy on you too, not through social media, but through Xbox. So you know.
Cue that Rockwell song.
So there's that. And I just feel like a lot of the stories it doesn't tell it on over the serious way while also having some merit to them. Like there are funny things happen. For example, whenever Haida is rejected indirectly because he never asks her to go have a date with him, there's this recurring thing that happens that I don't want to spoil because it only happens twice in the 2 seasons, and I found it pretty funny. The first time wasn't funny, but the second time it was.
It is
And
odd. It is odd how they'll set up a repeating gag in the first, and it isn't funny on its own. The humor comes from the ways that they spin it later on.
yeah.
You shut up, Pink. The audience won't even get that.
You were supposed to react to it. It was just there for safekeeping.
Safekeeping from what? Is the fucking song wizard coming to steal your music?
Tim is always watching.
Ah. Alright, Addy.
Right.
Anything
No.
else other than regrets go?
No, I think that's all I've done. So yeah, I'm glad to go. Pretty funny if you can look past the visuals, which some people might dislike. But I mean, are you gonna let me link this picture?
Am I gonna what? You need to finish that
Put up
sentence.
put up a timestamp. I will.
Ah. Shoot.
Right. So are you gonna say no to this cute face?
Ah, that's pretty good. I like that art style. It's kind of anime-y, but it also kind of looks more like a painting.
It's Hello Kitty. It's the Hello Kitty art style. They made the show, so
I know, you said that. Alright, Pink, you're the
Uh.
artist here. You chime in.
I don't hate it.
Which is better than your opinion on most anime.
Correct.
Alright. Is that it, Eddie?
yes. Also, I
Alright.
guess this anime has been freaking adapted by furries for some reason.
And it's
For
doing
some reason. Yeah.
it. And
I
it's-
actually don't know how. I don't.
Oh, I have 3 green bars, but you're all dying anyways. Oh no! I have 3 green bars, so clearly everyone else's internet all died at the exact same
Right.
time. That's the only logical explanation.
So, adopted thing, but yeah, like I actually don't know how much it was adopted because in my short look through the fandom, because I didn't want to go into the fandom too deep because
Yeah.
didn't want to ruin the series.
I
In my
wouldn't
short
even
look through
dip
the
my
fan-
I wouldn't even dip my toes in that, Addy.
But yeah, in my short look through the fandom, I have saw 0.1% of people being furries, and most people just being like, haha, funny, cute animal mad. Which, to be fair, I'm also haha, funny, cute animal mad, so.
And of course, it's a red panda, and everybody loves the red pandas nowadays, at least.
Yeah.
All right,
The-
Volc, what you been up to?
Oh, I watched Far From Home as well, and Stranger Things. I also played the Stranger Things game. It was released on the Switch.
Okay, I was hoping that would be something worthwhile, but isn't it just like a little 8-bit game?
It is. It's
Aw.
kind of fun though. It's a 2-player, so I was playing my little brother.
What's it about?
You kind of just go on little quests. So like you have to find Steve's keys so you can go through the movie theater. Uh, yeah, you just kind of go on small quests. I haven't got that far, so there might be more, but
So it's just like a sort of 2D adventure game. Just go around and collect the puzzle items.
yeah.
Ah,
Yep.
I don't think we're. I was really hoping we'd get like an actual Stranger Things survival horror. Like I mean an actual survival horror. Not horror like Slender Man or, Outlast or any of that shit. Like I mean like an actual survival horror. Something like Resident Evil or Silent Hill or even I don't know. What was big for a limited amount of time? Condemned?
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
Like
Stranger Hills.
Stranger Hills, exactly. And I'm amazed you guys can hear me because I've been sitting at one red bar for a while now. But I mean, the thing is, Stranger Things, at least season 1, I think season 2 as well, and probably season 3, we're all heavily inspired. We're all
We couldn't.
We can barely hear you.
It's like
fuck.
Been real slow.
Yeah.
mhm.
I totally dropped from the call and then went straight back to 3 green bars. That was fucking weird.
I needed to reboot.
I don't know which is better, Stranger Hills or Silent Things.
Silent Things.
Silent things.
But the writers, or was the writers or the directors or something, whatever, the creators of Stranger Things did directly say that Silent Hill was one of the big inspirations for Stranger Things. So excuse me for being a little hopeful. What a fool I was. Anyways, keep going.
Maybe a few years down the line, because Stranger Things is, in its own odd way, still in its infancy. So you never know how things will develop in the future.
Yeah.
They made a Game of Thrones video game like a year after the first season premiered. It sucked, but it was like an RPG actual game.
Wow.
Had no idea.
Yeah, me either.
Does Tyrion win?
I don't know.
Then it's not worth playing.
Volc, take us away from here.
Okay, yeah. I was like, oh, what else did I do? I think that was it, honestly. I just kind of watched Stranger Things.
Did we even do anything on the 4th of July?
You blew
not
up.
really.
It was just Stranger Things.
Lost your
Yeah,
fingers.
pretty much just Stranger Things.
I celebrated the 4th of July like a real American. I made a gigantic wooden sculpture of Lincoln, and then I put rockets on its feet and C4 in its center, and then set it on fire.
My neighbors celebrated 4th of July at 10 fucking o'clock at night. Turns out, you ever see like the fireworks going up, and you think to yourself, man, I really feel bad for the next door neighbors or whatever jackasses firing off those fireworks. Yeah, today, on this 4th of July, I was that jackass.
You see, you see the fireworks go up, and you think to yourself, what a wonderful world.
And it's like, well, thanks. Now my dogs aren't sleeping.
Mm.
Yep.
And they're firing off the loud ones, too.
Yep.
The fucking screamers and the ones that explode in the air and all.
You know the ones they're using are the ones that still freaking America.
Yeah.
The Chinese ones.
And the real fear is, especially when it's your neighbor that's doing it, is like, holy shit, you better not light my house on fire.
Yeah, the real fear is you go to your neighbor the next day, and then you go and complain about the noise, and they go, we weren't even home yesterday.
No, you go to complain to your neighbor, and their house isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
Alright. So, yeah, Volk, if you think of anything else you've done, feel free to chime in. But other than that, I guess we'll move on to what I did. I put more time.
Yeah.
I put more time into Dead Rising 1 remaster for PS4. Still good, still a little bit jank because it's an old, not launch title for Xbox 360, but it did come out in 2006, so it was near enough to launch. Great port, and I'm trying to work on getting the Zombie Genocider achievement for the first time, despite all the many playthroughs I've had of Dead Rising. So you guys, I assume you've heard of the Zombie Genocider achievement, right?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
I feel like you've talked about this once before, but I could be wrong.
Do you have to kill a lot of zombies by forcing them to move away from farming and make steel?
Not exactly. I mean, there is a contact between the zombies and steel quite a bit, but not in that manner. So, when the game starts off, it tells you there are 53,125 people in the town of Willamette, where Dead Rising is set. You get the Zombie Genocider achievement for killing 53,125 zombies in one playthrough. Now, keeping in mind that Dead Rising has a strict set of timers on all events, and while you can still technically ignore the main story and all that, and just go through and kill zombies all day and all night, you still only have 3 in-game days to do it. So, you have to just try and kill 53,000 zombies in 3 in-game days. I've never attempted it, and I'm attempting it now. Thank God this game has save points, because the first day is over. I think it's actually closer to 4 days, rather than 3. But the first day is over. I'm only at 15,000. And it's really bad. I'm using the most efficient manner of killing zombies. Underneath the Willamette Mall, there is a series of maintenance tunnels and parking garages. And by far the most efficient way in the game to kill hundreds or thousands of zombies is to just go down there. And there are some cars and there are some meat packing trucks. And you just hop into them. You just hop into those meatpacking trucks in the maintenance tunnels underneath the mall, and you just plow through the hordes upon hordes upon hordes upon hordes of zombies in the maintenance tunnels. Because that is the place where the highest amount of zombies spawn, and that is also one of the only locations on the Dead Rising map where vehicles actually spawn. So it's a perfect storm of the 2 factors you need for killing lots of zombies. Still a pain in the ass, though. And, oh boy. Remember when Addie was like, fuck, I am not going to force CJ to learn how to hold his breath? And I was like, I just do that kind of stuff while I do something else? Yeah, that's what I'm doing here. That is exactly what I'm doing here. I'll be playing Dota 2, or Total War Medieval, or I'll be looking over documents, or I'll be writing shit down, or I'll be working on something for here, or I'll be helping Ted with his D&D stuff. Or something. For the love of God, something. To actually get something done. Or keep my attention span. While I have to mow down hordes of zombies. In the fucking tunnels of tunnel pain. Ugh. But yeah, Dead Rising's a good game. And you know what? It's hard for me to bitch too much. Because Dead Rising, is being one of the earliest games, actually tried to give meaning to achievements. Every achievement has an associated unlockable. And if I complete the Zombie Genocider achievement, I get the Mega Buster from Mega Man. That kills just about everything in the game in one hit.
If you get the Zombie Genocider achievement, you get the Dick and Balls flamethrower.
Yeah. Don't remind me of Dead Rising 3, please. I nearly made you suffer through that. And now that Dead Rising 4 is going up on Game Pass, I'm going to make all of you suffer through it. Well, not Volcano. Not Volcano unless she gets Game Pass, but...
I mean...
both of you are going to suffer with me through Dead Rising 4. It'll be a one-session thing, but...
Technically, we could also get Volcano if Big has a separate second Xbox.
I do not.
Yeah, that's the issue we're having. Not Game Pass.
Dead
But yeah, I actually played Dead Rising 4.
Rising 4 is not great.
Nope, it isn't.
I haven't played it, but I've seen it. And I've seen that they recast Frank. Like, one of my favorite voice. I feel like I'm holding this bottle of mineral water, but it's shaped like a stereotypical beer bottle. So when I get angry or sad about things, I feel like a bitter old drunk, despite the fact that I'm just drinking mineral water.
Meanwhile, I have absinthe right next to me. I don't actually, but
Addy, just an actual bitter old drunk.
yeah,
Despite
yeah. At the bitter old age of 19.
Yeah, I was about to say, despite being the youngest of us. Other than that, let's see. I put more time into Dota 2 and League of Legends. Did I mention League of Legends last week?
Yes, you did.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't put much more time into League of Legends. I was super wrong, because my internet's been shitting itself this week. Dota 2 is nice enough to let you play offline, which is nuts for a MOBA.
League of Legends.
Incredible.
League is not that nice.
League of Legends.
League of Legends, you are always connected to the server, even when playing in an all-bots game. So I'll just be, me playing with bots, against bots, and I'm lagging horribly, and I'm like, this feels pointless lagging against bots. This is stupid.
Something's not right here.
I actually feel the other way around. I actually kind of like, I don't like having to be connected at all times, but I like it when a game, if it has bad netcode or like expects it to have a bad connection, simulating bad connection, so you can get used to it and be good that way.
Ha! That is an interesting aspect. I mean, there is more fighting games with time are actually adding the ability to implement lag into your inputs, at least in practice mode, to practice for online. It's wild, man. But I've been trying to run through and try every Dota character I am interested in trying, and I'm starting with the low complexity guys. And we got your usual MOBA types. We got Sven, and Sven's got a stun projectile, and he's got an ult that boosts his attack speed like crazy, blah, blah, blah.
So that's the guy from Frozen.
Yeah. Addy, shut up. We got
I actually
Axe.
don't know his name.
We got Axe, whose thing is that there's a 17% chance when you hit him that he will counter for big damage. And his ult is... I'm sorry, Addy?
The axes give him strength.
They do. It's only one axe, unfortunately, but it's a big axe. It's a big axe. It's a big axe for a big boy.
Not good enough.
Well, look, you can have 2 small axes for small boys, or 1 big axe for 1 big axe boy.
He should build 2 Buster Sword size axes.
So that he can not carry either efficiently?
Yeah. so he can truly be on oversized Beyblade.
Yeah. But anyways, Mr. Axe has an ult that is basically just an execution, a Thanatos-style execution, except that he doesn't get to fly or teleport or any of that shit. You actually have to be there on top of the opponent, which is weird. Because I'm used to the execute characters being able to snipe somebody from across the map. So having the execute character actually need to be in execution range is just weird. But, you know what? It's worth it. Because whenever you successfully execute somebody, there is a decent chance that Axe will yell, "I said good day, sir!" Despite being heavily based off the Mongols. And his name actually being like Mogul Khan or something. So you just have a Mongol with a big fuck you axe executing someone and then yelling out for the world to hear, "I said good day, sir!" And I don't know why he says it. Oh, I also found the weirdest character in that game. So I've mentioned some big weirdos in that game, right? I told you guys about the Invoker, right? And you probably can't hear me. Of course you can't hear me. The internet's shitting itself. As it is wont to, at any given time. Fuck me, we need to look into getting this fixed, because this is getting...
I think so, yeah.
This is getting into... This is seriously getting in the way of basically everything we want to do for the channel. Like, yeah, I don't know if it was yesterday. No, it wasn't yesterday. What am I thinking? But the other day, shortly before July 4th, Eddie and I were going to record Total War Shogun 2, and my internet just imploded on itself. And I have to talk about it right now, because there's nothing else I can fucking talk about. But, holy shit, we seriously need to get this fixed. The call has dropped entirely now. And I'm back, and it's just one red bar. This is awesome. Audience, are you enjoying this one-man show of Alex? Until they can fucking hear me? Good
Is
Lord.
he alive? Is he really alive?
Okay. Dota 2, weirdos. I told you guys about it.
And we're back to shit.
Fuck me! Ah!
Right, yes. Quick.
Can confirm that we did talk about weirdos last week.
Okay, Invoker. He's a guy who's got 6 ability slots. Out of those, and 4 of those, 3 of them are ingredients, and then 1 is to mix the ingredients to make a spell. And you can keep 2 spells stored up at once. And he's basically got 10 different spells. So he's every character you could ever want, mixed up in one. It's nuts.
But is it easy? Is it an easy thing to bake a pretty cake?
Oh, you can make a very pretty cake made out of fireballs, death, and minions. He's got every spell you could want. You want to push lane? Go for it. You want something that just one-shots heroes? Go for it. But there's an even bigger weirdo. There is a character named Meepo. What does Meepo do? Well, his ult is a passive. And now that I actually get around to talking about Meepo, the fucking call dies on me. Because of course it does. The call is dying on me the instant I actually get to talking about something new. I fucking talked about Invoker, who I talked about last week, while the call was good. But now that the call's dead, now that I want to talk about Meepo, the call dies. Fuck.
Another call bites the dust.
Meepo, his ult is a passive. Every time he levels it up, he picks up another clone of himself. Since the game is a PC game that is controlled from the RTS perspective, you can drag your little cursor across the screen and select several Meepos. And you're basically playing a strategy game while everybody else is playing a MOBA. And now the call's dropped, so I can't say anything of substance again. Ah! Fucking pain and suffering. Why am I cursed? Every Wi-Fi device I buy. Every Wi-Fi device I buy. Fucking it's the worst.
We heard suffering.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
They only are hearing my every word, which is making this podcast a lot weirder, I gotta say. It's a podcast of me, myself, and I, occasionally joined by the rest of the Shut Your Mouth Lounge crew. It
Killed your internet.
words.
Yes, my big thinking.
And now they're talking about something else entirely. They're talking about a big brain meme or something. I can't even tell what they're talking about. Oh, God. You know what, audience? You know
I'm
what?
talking about you.
This is why Google Stadia can't work. They're commenting on shit fucking 20 seconds after I say it. This is why Google Stadia can't work. Can I just go ahead and say that? Or like PlayStation Now Classic. I heard that they changed it so that PlayStation Now functions a lot closer to Xbox Game Pass. If they did, I should probably give it a shot. But game streaming, this is why it can't work. Because most people have shit internet. Because Google has not yet put the damn, Google Fiber. Yeah, they haven't put Google Fiber all over the nation yet.
Okay, no.
So this shit
Never
can't
mind.
work. There we go. Calls back. Hey, alright, Meepo. I'm gonna talk about him quick. Meepo, he's a clone guy. You can control all the clones or separate the clones, and you're basically controlling, like, if you buy the right item, which, by the way, a weird thing about Dota, one of the items doesn't improve your stats, it just changes one of your abilities. Like, the item for one character will, like, for Meepo, he gets the item and it gives him an additional 2 clones. So you can wind up controlling 6 heroes at once. 6 Meepos.
That's a lot of meepos.
Wow.
That's a lot of fucking Meepos. So you can just be like, alright, well now I'm a herd of heroes that can just gank your ass and just tear you to pieces. Or I can divide them into teams of 2. And I can farm all the lanes at once. Cause fuck you. You don't get to lane.
Tear
All
your
that
team
money
into
is
pieces.
mine.
Tear your team into pieces. This is my last Meepo.
But the real problem is, if one Meepo dies, all the Meepos die. So you can't at any point forget about one of the Meepos or leave them alone, particularly considering that a Meepo divided shall not stand. Game's full of weirdos. Of course you got your Morgans. You got your, Shang Tsung's, just straight up copy the other character's moveset, because why the hell not? You got your stance changers and everything. Dota 2, it's good. I need to put more time into League, because I also want to see what League's got going on. Generally, I gotta say, I'm happy with MOBAs. When I tried them 7 years ago, I wasn't into them, but I'm really enjoying them now. I still suck at them, but... And now I'm really disappointed that one DC MOBA got canceled, What was its name? Infinite Crisis?
Yes.
You could have Swamp Thing versus Steampunk Green Lantern. It was amazing. Yeah. I could have...
I just...
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. Okay. I just realized the worst comics crossover. So, listen to this. I'm gonna pitch you the title of the one-off comic. Get out of my Swamp Thing. Did Alex die again? Okay, no. Good.
If middle fingers could make a noise. So, I did finish Game of Thrones and watch Spider-Man Far From Home, but I'll be saving them for after the one last thing I did this week. After watching Far From Home, I was inspired to go back and try and finish PS4 Spider-Man. And I do think
And then you got stuck on Harry missions.
I did not get stuck on Harry missions. I finished the Harry missions, and they burned me so hard I was like, fuck this. So I finally have come back nearly a year after the game's launch. And yeah, it's a pretty good game. I think I went a little too hard on it. I think I blame the game to a certain degree for my own failure in that this is a game where offense is not the priority, or at least Spider-Man, your chief focus should not be the combos or moves you're doing. Your chief focus should be paying attention to whether or not Spider-Man's spider senses are going off at all times. That is a game
that's
that
what I
is
did.
only about dodges and parries. And I was not used to that at first. I expected offense to be focused, the thing you have to focus on. Because I'm used to Batman, right? Where Batman, it's like, you'll just in the middle of something and then counter, and then just keep going with what you're doing.
There's a difference between us because I'm, like, weirdly enough, in fighting games, I am the only one who doesn't block ever. In games like these, I never attack. I always parry.
Ha! But you started with Assassin's Creed. Of course you parry.
True.
I think there's something to be said about, though, like, one of the points I had against the game that I think is still active, the game is stuck in an awkward place where it can't tell if it wants to be a character action game or if it wants to be a Batman Arkham. So it tries to be a little bit of both, and it suffers for it. Because the attack structure of enemies in an Arkham game is entirely different from the attack structure of enemies in a character action game,
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely one thing that's notable. Character action games very much make it so that any enemy that is off-screen at a given time will not attack you. Or at least they have an extremely... Their AI is made more passive the instant that the screen isn't looking at them. And another thing, the game's very effects heavy. There are lots of times where enemies, particularly amongst the demons, have big attacks that are just explosions and ground pounds and ground waves and all that. And it really obscures your visuals. And there have been lots of times where I ate big moves because I couldn't see the spider sense prompt underneath all the fucking explosion effects.
You also need to point out that the spider sense is blue and also the explosions are on too.
Yes, and not only that, it's a very light blue, so it often blends into the background. I would have made it a stark red if I was the game designer, but I'm not, so, you know. With all that said, the gameplay does feel great when you get... At times. It's one thing to note, I had to burn a certain part of my psychology here. I'm used to character action games. Character action games, you do not use consumables. Period. Like, they lower your score, only use them if you need to force your way through a fight. Whereas Spider-Man, use the consumables. Use them constantly. Because knocking out enemies refreshes your consumables, but you won't get your clips reloaded if you're already at max ammo, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
So try to keep things around medium amounts of ammo. That kind of weird psychology, right? That way you can always get refills, you don't waste refills, but at the same time you've always got just enough in stock in case you need it.
Right.
And that is one thing that was a big weakness of mine the first time I tried to play Marvel's Spider-Man. I didn't use any of Spider-Man's items.
Me neither.
I didn't use webbing, didn't use impact webbing, didn't use the web bombs, didn't use concussive blast. It makes the game way easier if you do.
So W, by didn't use, do you mean at all or just in combat? Because to me there's a difference.
The only time I ever used it, I would occasionally use impact web and stealth, but that's it.
I used trip mines, I used the web bombs, I used impact webbing all in stealth in my first playthrough. Never used them in combat because I was like, whatever, I'll just beat the shit out of him. And I mean, I did. So
the trouble with beating the shit out of him is crowd control.
yeah, that's
Marvel
one issue.
Spider-Man is a game where the enemies are very aggressive.
Yeah. So second playthrough, I went, well, I never used the web shit, so I guess I'll give it a chance. And I unlocked the spider drones, and they shoot the shit out of everyone, so I don't need to worry about crowd control.
Spider drones are great. Just the regular web shooter is awesome.
I didn't like the regular... I thought the regular web shooter was a bit too slow for how many people I'm trying to handle at the same time. So usually I used the impact webbing, I used the bombs, and maybe trip mines, rarely if I ran out of everything else.
Well,
but
the web shooter is multi-purpose, is my thing. Because first of all, it's your ebony and ivory. Or in Bayonetta, in case of Bayonetta, your Scarborough Fair. Was that the name of Bayonetta's guns?
I don't remember.
It's your combo extender. If you need to keep somebody in the air, or if you need to keep somebody stunned while they're on the ground, use the webs. But the crazy thing about Marvel Spider-Man to me is, if you web up an enemy and they're either on the floor and getting up, or if they're next to the wall, it just webs them to the wall or the floor, and that's an instant kill. Or instant KO, I guess.
Yeah, that's why I used impact webbing more than normal one, because the normal one gives a bit of knockback, sure, but it's not too much. Impact webbing freaking shoots people off of the side of buildings.
Oh, so... yeah. Absolutely. The impact web is absolutely more efficient for it. The trouble is that impact web does not naturally regenerate.
It does.
Well, I mean, you pick up impact web clips from knocking out enemies like you do all the other gadgets, but the actual the web shooters actually just recharge very quickly. Did you not get the upgrades?
I don't know about very quickly. I did. I upgraded everything to full. I think I have like 2 gadgets that are optional that I don't have at all, and everything else is max like fully upgraded.
Ha! I mean, the thing, I would absolutely grab all the gadgets, even the ones that I don't like, just because more gadgets are more gadgets. They're not
I
occupying
didn't
inventory space.
I didn't grab them because they require Taskmaster challenge shit, and
Ha!
the ones that I can do well, I already did well, and I'm out of Taskmaster shit. So it's like I would need to get better at drone chasing, and no, I'd rather not.
Drone chasing ain't a problem. The bombs are the fucking problem.
The bombs are easy, dude.
Oh, I can't do the bombs at all. But
The bombs are like yeah.
drone chasing though. That shit's easy. I'm the Superman 64 master over here.
We're on different sides then, because to me the bomb shit was easy because I just needed to get there quickly throw it, grab it up, run. There we go. That's all. The drones, I need to follow a set path, and that I'm not good at that.
Yeah, I'm very good at that. This is like when we played Ninja Gaiden, and Pink got stuck on the basic white ninjas, and we were all like, "Oh man, Pink, how'd you do that? How'd you get stuck on them?" Then I get stuck on the horses. Pink beat the horses in one try. It took me 10 fucking try. If you count my solo attempts before we even recorded, it took me 15 tries to beat the horses.
I also beat the horses on my first try.
What? How? I don't understand. How do you defeat horse?
By solo locking the horse, I do the.
I've
I think
defeated
it's done.
horse, and I don't know how.
I mean that you will see the footage in time, but yeah, like my means of defeating the horses were charged heavies when I figured out that charged heavies existed. But before then, even before then, I could defeat them by stun locking them by doing the kick combo. There's this combo that you can do where you do, I think it's 3 light attacks and then 2 heavies, and instead of heavy attacks with the blades, it's 2 kicks. That just locks them into place. They can't move. They just die.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I've seen the kick combo thrown out a few times. I assumed it was because of delay. I assumed it was a delay combo.
I don't know. Ryu seemed to do it for me whenever I did a triple light double heavy combo or spring or whatever.
Man, that game is such Alex porn. I am so severely tempted to go and play it when we're not recording, but I want to keep it raw. Oh man, do you guys want to try and record that tomorrow? See if my internet will. First of all, we might have an idea to try and fix my internet tonight. We're gonna have to work on that after the podcast is done. Or, excuse me, I say we, but by we I mean me and my family, not you guys. I don't expect you guys to ship on over to help my Wi-Fi router.
Yeah, you will send me a plane ticket to arrive there in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Just so I can get
email
there
it
and
to
help
ya.
you with the Wi-Fi router. Yeah.
No, I'll email the fucking plane to you.
Yes. But you wouldn't download a car.
Yeah. I would if I could. I actually wouldn't.
Yeah. I would. I don't have morals. I'll showcase my own series. I don't have morals, so.
You said that so quickly. You made it sound like the name of our new series is "I Don't Have Morals." Oh, that would almost be an interesting one. What if we made a competitive game where Pink and I have to have like moral standards and compete against Addy without having moral standards? And games like GTA, like we make a game of GTA where me and Pink are on the same team against Addy, but we have to respect like traffic laws and we can't hurt civilians. But Addy can do all those things.
Yes. That could be an interesting thing. Yes.
For honor, but we have to actually play with honor, but Addy doesn't.
I mean, who am I going to call upon to gank you? The Chunka? I will enlist Volc's help to gank you. I don't know how, but I will.
Oh man. What game were we even talking about? Right, Marvel Spider-Man. Yeah. I think I've definitely completed Act 1. I think the mission I just most recently completed was... shit. Which comes later? Going through Martin Lee's shit in his office, or the mission where Spidey goes and has dinner with MJ in her apartment and he burns the food and then leaves because it's Peter.
Yeah, I think the one where he gets with MJ.
Okay, I think that's the last mission I did. And I have a strong feeling this is going to be one of those MJs that's the bad MJs. Is it? Is there one of the MJs
Why?
that's like, I know you're Spider-Man, but it's all about me, though. Fuck New York. Just be Peter for me.
No,
Isn't that
no.
like the movie?
Yes, of course. Of course, movie MJ is the worst MJ. Well, except for new movie MJ is good, but
Yeah.
old movie MJ bad.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't. I wouldn't say that she goes down that route. In fact, I'd say that she goes the other way. Peter is like, no, do not go and try to freaking fight Lee because he will kill you. And she's like, no, I have a taser. And then she goes and actually fights Lee.
Ha! Oh,
So
man.
yeah,
Isn't Mary Jane
Also,
Spider-Woman
yeah.
in the comics now? I feel like they finally gave her powers in the comics because everybody's been
I
waiting.
believe so.
Everybody's been
she
waiting
got-
on that for a century. Everyone else on Peter's side cast but her got powers, so fuck it.
she got spider powers through Peter's radiated cum.
No, she didn't. Somehow she was made immune to... I shit you not, I feel like this was actually the Spider Island plot point. She was made immune to Spider-Man's... Yes, through overexposure or something? Whereas
Yeah, you said that.
Carly Cooper got powers from it, but Mary Jane didn't because Joe Quesada hates Mary Jane. But he loves his daughter, and her getting powers from Spider-Man through... Wait, what?
Through Spider Bukaki.
And now Spider-Man... Does Spider-Man still have to put up with Silk now that he's back with Mary Jane?
Oh boy, Silk.
Oh yeah, Silk. Silk's a fucking anime character. She's an anime waifu. Did you ever notice that? Because the entire plotline there is, their hormones want them to go, but they don't want to go. Will they or will they won't? And it's like, isn't this just an anime harem plotline?
I mean, I would comment on this, but I don't watch freaking harem anime because they suck.
I don't either, but it's something like that, ain't it?
The closest thing I heard about harem anime is like a freaking visual novel where it's like, oh no, these sexy women are monsters, and you're like a priest or something, and your only thing is to not have sex with them, but they really want to have sex. So I guess so, yes.
Am I referring to the wrong thing? Whatever, it's some kind of anime, fuck it. If you're a big enough nerd, you understand what I'm talking about, in which case, fuck you. The...
Lovely Complex is the best freaking rom-com anime. I'll just put that out there. It was the original good one, from what I understand.
I don't know what you're talking about, so I'll take your word for it. Let's move on before Addy feels inclined to actually talk about his animes. I don't think there's anything particular else I want to say, other than, like, holy shit, why even implement stealth if you're just gonna force a fucking fight? I still can't get over that part. That part is confounding to me. Why allow you to stealth
part?
through bases?
Yeah,
Me and
agreed.
Addy, you and I talked about this before when you were playing through Spider-Man. Like, it is just confounding. It is genuinely confounding.
Yeah. I mean, with the freaking the ghost or whatever the hell they're called, demon. There we go. That's what they're called. Yeah, the demon strongholds. At least you can stealth the outside, and then the inside already knows you're there. I think.
No, the inside does not already know you're there. You can start off stealth with that, but once you kill like KO like 4 guys, they know you're there.
That's stupid. Yeah, well, once you kill them, but you can only have the kill option if you have the less than skin on.
Or Spider-Man Noir.
Yeah, or Spider-Man Noir. Spider-Man Noir's suit power is pull a gun.
Or one more day, but you can only kill the enemy if they are fetuses.
No, with one more day you kill MJ.
Yeah. Oh, man. Now I'm depressed. So before we move on to good Spider-Man, let's move on to another thing that's really sucky and sad. Game of Thrones Season 6 through 8. So, by the way, I definitely forgot to get timestamps for the topics here, but that's okay, because I've been in horrible pain throughout this episode, so I have an excuse. But, so, anyone who doesn't want to be spoiled on Game of Thrones Seasons 6, well, just Game of Thrones in general, drop out now, and also you probably want to drop out if you want to avoid Far From Home spoilers, just in case we forget not to spoil that. But yeah, Game of Thrones Season 6 through 8. How to ruin a good thing, you know? How to really...
I feel
Addy, go ahead.
I feel like I would be more interested in Game of Thrones if it was instead titled Throne of Games.
Throne of Games, exactly. You have to sit on a throne made of old NES cartridges.
No, it's a throne made out of like what's the word? I forget. Whatever. It's a throne made out of Game Boys.
Of course. So Season 6, I need to go ahead and say, was actually good. It was not great. It definitely was not as great as Seasons 1 through 4. It was better than Season 5. That's not difficult, because several Season 5's plot lines sucked hard. But Season 6 generally sticks to good plot lines. Including the plot line that you guys probably now know of as the most famous, being the Battle of the Bastards, Jon Snow versus Ramsay Bolton, the war in the North.
Right.
Which, the Battle of the Bastards is the best battle scene in the whole series, without a doubt. It's probably one of the best war scenes in movie or television history. It's a whole different scale from, say, Lord of the Rings, because it's more... The armies are, of course, considerably smaller, whereas Lord of the Rings has massive hordes. But it's a great battle that actually has actual strategy. You know where most movie or TV battles consist of everyone charge at each other.
Right.
There's actual battlefield strategy here. It's honestly kind of a little bit like a reverse Kane. I don't know. I'm not a battlefield strategist. So, Season 6, actually pretty good. Then we move on to Season 7. Season 7's a lot of people acting stupid as hell. So, one of the plot lines of Season 7 is Jon Snow is like, we need to convince Cersei and Daenerys that the zombies, the White Walkers, are real. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assemble the Avengers, and we're going to go north of the wall to go catch a zombie, put it in a fucking box, and bring it all the way south to Cersei, the most selfish person in the entire world, and try to convince her to help send armies to fight the White Walkers. So, you guys know not a great deal about Game of Thrones, right?
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what do you know about Cersei? And you can't hear me. That's awesome. Because the fucking internet went out again.
I know Cersei is evil.
She is.
Was Cersei the...
No.
No.
Is Cersei an instrument?
I should
Probably.
know the lag made it so that Addy just said, is Cersei, and then Pink and Volc both just on the spot cut him off with no. You're both mind readers. So,
Cersei isn't. That's
Yeah.
the answer right, to my question.
Not anymore, she isn't.
no, she is not. So, obviously, this plan from the beginning is fucked because you're trying to convince the most selfish person in the world to help you save the world. So they go north of the wall and they bring Sir Thoros of Myr, one of the only two people in history to resurrect someone. And of course he dies. Because your dumbasses took him north of the wall into a horde of zombies. Good work,
You're
team.
not going to be making special use of his special abilities anytime soon, I suppose.
Yeah. They do manage to capture a zombie, but they get trapped on an ice lake by all of the zombies and White Walkers. Literally all of them. Daenerys arrives on 2 dragons. Why does she bring 2 but not 3? Because you're gonna find out. She brings 2 dragons, not 3, and immediately one of the White Walkers kills one of her dragons with an ice spear. The only reason Daenerys brought 2 dragons instead of 3 or just 1 is so that Daenerys would lose a dragon but still have a dragon to ride away on.
Plot
Oh my
convenience.
gosh.
Daenerys gets all of the guys to hop on the dragon with her. Seeing all that, Daenerys obviously is like, oh, well, apparently White Walkers are real because one just fucking killed my baby.
Whoops.
So, for this mission to convince the most selfish person in the whole world to help in a selfless manner, they lost one of the only 2 people in the world capable of resurrection and one of the only 3 dragons left in existence. Good work, team.
That is not a good trade.
Wow.
They
That
go
is not a good
south.
trade at all.
They go south. They bring a zombie in a wooden crate to Cersei. And Cersei's like, alright, I'll help. And then immediately Cersei pretty much just turns to Jaime and goes, yeah, fuck these fools. I ain't helping. Who do they think I am? I'm not making... Fucking White Walkers, let them eat the North. I don't give a shit. And Jaime's like, wow, sister that I've been fucking, you are a douchebag. I'm going to go join the North. So the ultimate achievement of all that was not to get the armies of the South to help at all. Really, all they got out of the deal was Jaime's gonna help.
Terrible trade.
Which would have been great if Jaime still had both of his hands. But in fact, he lost his good sword hand and went from being one of the best swordsmen in the country to one of the most mediocre. So hey, yeah, everybody feel good about that?
What a trade.
Season 8, guess what? White Walkers break down the wall, cause guess what? They got a zombie dragon. Cause hey, you dumbasses left the dragon corpse on the other side of the wall.
Oh my gosh.
And the zombie dragon still breathes fire, and the Great Wall is still made out of ice. So he just melts that shit.
That dragon is Prometheus.
Prometheus was tortured for bringing fire to the zombies. That's a different take. White Walkers march on through, they go through the north, they rampage everything, they kill tons of babies and children and all kinds of things, and it's horrible. And Jon and Daenerys and everybody are like, well, we've successfully assembled everyone on the cast except for Cersei, Bronn, Qyburn, and the Mountain. Guess it's time for the big final battle. So the zombies attack Winterfell. And only like 5 notable characters die out of the like 30 notable characters they had assembled for that battle. The big threat that has been built up over 8 seasons kills 5 notable characters. And out of those 5, only 2 were main characters. The other 3 were just particularly notable side characters. One of the 5 characters that they make a big deal out of getting killed by the White Walkers is Lyanna Mormont, who had 3 scenes prior to that. Now, don't get me wrong, there were 3 distinctive scenes, because Lyanna Mormont is like 10 years old, but nonetheless a gigantic badass. but she only got 3 scenes. And then Arya just kills the Night King by stabbing him. And it turns out, conveniently enough, oh, if the Night King dies, all White Walkers and zombies die. Poof. Gone. Well, doesn't that make everyone feel like a bit of idiots? Then it's like,
This problem could have been solved a long time ago.
why did they even fight the zombies? Like, I get that they might have the zombies try and protect the White Walkers. I get that much. But you've got on your roster, you've got Arya, renowned assassin. The Hound, who is a renowned knight who is known for going solo and very much fighting on his own. You've got Grey Worm, who is a pretty much tactical genius because they cut off his dick and made sure he only knows tactics. Like, there are so many military geniuses and top assassins and top warriors on your team. It would have required nothing to assemble a plan of, oh, just ignore the zombies and kill the Night King. So everything that's been achieved so far feels meaningless. Congrats. And now Daenerys is like, well, I'd like to own all of Westeros. It'd be really cool if I just owned, like, everything. It'd be great. And Daenerys' whole thing, her whole motive, is that despite being a highborn, kind of the daughter of the long-lost king, she lived a hard life in her early years. So she's sympathetic to those who have lived a hard life. And so Daenerys' entire motivation is, I want to take over the world so that I can get rid of things like slavery, so I can make life better for peasants and lowborn. Right?
Right.
So she's like, alright, let's go south, let's conquer all of Westeros. That way, I can fix everything for everyone. So they go south. Along the way, Jaime has fallen in love with Brienne, but then he's like, you know what? All this character development of me going from one of the worst people in Season 1 to one of the most heroic characters by the time of Season 8? Fuck character development. He just straight up goes, I've always been a monster, and I've been lying to myself. Cersei's the only person who could ever love me. And he just goes back to just joins up with Cersei again. Alright.
Okay.
8 seasons for nothing.
Time to backtrack.
And Daenerys feels bad because Jorah, the guy who she deliberately kept on a line knowing that Jorah loved her and she deliberately chose not to love him back, he died in the Battle of Winterfell. So now she's all lonely, particularly because she had to that point been sleeping with Jon Snow. Well, Jon Snow finds out from Bran and Sam, oh, whoops, Daenerys is my aunt. Oh, no.
Oh my gosh.
So Daenerys is like, well, you may be my nephew, but you still want to do it? And Jon's like, no. So Daenerys is all pissy that the guy she kept on a line and the guy she was actually sleeping with are both now, well, respectively dead and refusing to sleep with her. And her entire motivation for the following actions is entirely because she's not getting laid? Keep that in mind for what she does at the end of the season. Tyrion acts as stupid as possible. Varys acts as stupid as possible. So Jon, Robb, and Daenerys are 3 characters who are very much depicted as heroes, all of whom, to this point, have in the past executed their enemies. And this is depicted as something that you have to do. Like, legitimately, the very first thing we see Ned Stark do is execute a runaway from the Night's Watch. So it's a big thing like, oh, executing people is something you just gotta do as a ruler. It's something ugly, but you gotta do it. And Jon, Ned, and Robb all execute with a sword. Daenerys, of course, executes people by having the dragons breathe fire on them. Dracarys, as she calls it. Well, Varys sees all this, and he's like, oh, she's evil, because she executes people. Only evil people execute their enemies. only evil people kill their enemies. Up to season 5, Varys was one of the smartest people in the series. You guys have probably seen him. He's the bald, bigger eunuch who always puts his hands in his sleeves.
Yep, I know who Varys is.
Right. Now, Varys notably served under the Mad King, who planned to nuke King's Landing, the capital. He served under Robert Baratheon, who is a alcoholic fuckwad who put the country in debt. He served under Joffrey, who was Joffrey. But he sees Daenerys executing her enemies, and he's like, "'Tis the season for some treason." And Tyrion is Varys' best friend, by the way. The writers don't understand how to write friendship. So Tyrion's entire idea of friendship with Varys, from the moment that the writers D&D took over from George R.R. Martin, their entire idea of Tyrion and Varys' friendship is Tyrion making fun of Varys for being a eunuch. That's it. Every on-screen interaction Tyrion and Varys have past season 4 is Tyrion making a dick joke to Varys. And every time Varys says, "You get easily offended by dwarf jokes, but you always love to make fun of me for being a eunuch." And every time Tyrion's response is, "That's because I have a dick and you don't." And it's like, do these people forget the lines they've already written? You've used that same gag 3 times now. But Tyrion finds out that Varys is planning some treason against Daenerys. So Tyrion, he tells that Varys has put his hands in the cookie jar. And Daenerys executes Varys for planning to assassinate her or something like that. I don't know. They get to King's Landing. And they're like, "Hey, surrender the city. No one has to die." Now, Cersei, being Cersei, is like, "Nah, I'm going out flailing and screaming. This is not going to end well." And Daenerys is like, "Okay." And Daenerys... Wait. There's one thing I forgot to mention. Conveniently, I forgot. So there's a scene where Daenerys is flying with her dragon over the ocean. And the Pirates of the Caribbean show up. And they shoot her dragon through the neck with a scorpion ballista, killing it instantly. One of the big things about Cersei that makes her a threat... Hang on, Pink, hang on. One of the things that's made her a threat throughout the entire series is that she's sleeping with Jack Sparrow. Cersei is sleeping with Jack Sparrow. So therefore she gets the Pirates of the Caribbean. Daenerys knows this and has lost her entire fleet to the Pirates of the Caribbean here. But nonetheless, she decides to fly her dragon over the open ocean and get it shot by the ballista, the scorpions. And then the afterwards behind-the-scenes footage, D&D outright say, "Oh yeah, Daenerys kind of forgot about the Iron Fleet." She forgot.
I forgot that there were these pirates that caused me so much turmoil in the past.
It lost her over half of her army.
Now she's down to what, one dragon?
One dragon. Oh man. And of course the pirates capture Missandei too. So we get to the armies are outside King's Landing. And Cersei is like, "Oh hey, Mountain, kill Missandei." And so she does. And Daenerys is like, "All right, well, that's the last straw. Time for genocide." And now we've gone back down to 1 bar, so I need to go ahead and fill for time until my internet decides it's going to work again. Holy shit, it is depressing talking about fucking Game of Thrones Season 8. So, she hops on the dragon. As it turns out, all that stuff, the pirate crews, the golden company that Cersei recruited using bank loans that have been built up for the entire season and Season 7 as being massive threats that will prevent Daenerys from taking King's Landing cleanly. Yeah, it was a big lie. So, the dragon, the one remaining dragon, is just a flying nuke. She kills all the Pirates of the Caribbean except for Jack Sparrow in one fucking fell swoop. All of them. gone. Except for Jack Sparrow, who goes and fights Jamie for some reason. Because I don't know. Oh, no. And I've got to fill out a little bit more time for this my internet to get back online. This is padding out the podcast so badly. We would be at... This is at 2.5 hours here. It would be at only 2 hours if not for my internet deciding to stop. So Daenerys rides by on the dragon. She kills all the Pirates of the Caribbean, all of the Golden Company, brings down the walls of King's Landing, and then just keeps going. And going. And going.
The hype train don't stop.
And she kills all of the civilians of King's Landing. Now keep in mind, Daenerys' defining line, the line that is considered to be the big Daenerys moment, is when she says that all of the crazy people of all the big evils of the world, the Lannisters and the slave drivers of Essos and, the Cleganes and all that, are the spokes on the wheel that tread upon the poor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then she kills all of the poor people in King's Landing. You know why?
I have no idea why.
Because she wasn't getting laid. Because Jon wasn't sleeping with her.
She was let them eat us.
And Varys and Tyrion both say it's because she's her father's daughter. Because her dad was the Mad King. So let me just emphasize the moral they're teaching here. For one thing, you are defined by your parents. If your parents were bad people, you are a bad person. It doesn't matter what you do. If your parents were bad people, you are a bad person.
That's what the Avatar: The Last Airbender writers for the comic series did as well. Because in that extended universe that I ignore, in that extended comic universe that I ignore, they had made it where Zuko isn't actually Ozai's son, if I recall.
Oh, fuck
What?
off.
He's actually Eros. He's actually Eros.
No.
Fuck off.
Yep, I did.
No.
But Iroh makes Zuko
it's
his son to substitute for the son he lost.
Precisely. It made no
wait.
sense.
Think, am I right?
Are you right about what?
Ero being the father.
Who is Iro?
I think he
Iroh.
means Iroh.
Iroh, no.
Alright,
Because
good.
that's one other thing that doesn't make sense in that situation at all, because they didn't ever bother to say anything about Iroh at all.
The other
That comic series was stupid.
Yeah, okay, I agree.
Yeah. Oh, God. So she nukes King's Landing with her dragon, and then Tyrion convinces Jon Snow to go kill her, and Jon Snow goes and kills her. And then Grey Worm is like, hey, you killed Daenerys. Go back to the wall, fuckwad. And Jon's like, the wall got nuked. What are you talking about? And Grey Worm's just like, shut up, go to the wall.
Are all the zombies dead now?
Yeah, and the
There's
wildlings...
no reason to go to a wall.
And the
Even
wildlings...
if it is broken.
The
There's
wildlings
nothing on
live
the other
south...
side anymore.
And the wildlings live south of the wall. The wildlings moved south of the wall. Jon got them to immigrate.
Jon is just going on vacation now, and literally all of these problems were the causation or caused by Jon.
It's worse than that. Grey Worm's idea of a punishment to send Jon back to the wall. Here's the thing. Not only does the wall no longer exist, because there were only two things the wall was designed to keep out: the White Walkers, which are now dead, and the wildlings, who are now at peace with Westeros. But now Jon goes to live with the wildlings. Legitimately, the credit sequence shows him joining up with the wildlings, and they go back to resettle north of the wall and build there. Well, you see, the thing is, when you go on the wall, when you go join the Night's Watch, they make you promise that you won't hold any lands, that you won't have a wife, you won't father any children. Yeah, if Jon's going north of the wall with the wildlings, he doesn't give a shit what the wall says. And he's going with the wildlings, who worship him as a god, and he has had a wildling lover in the past, despite the fact that he was still on the wall when it happened.
They killed Daenerys because they didn't want her to become a tyrant. Meanwhile, Jon, the cause of all these problems, is going to live on the wall, create a whole new society.
And then the White King shows up and says, "You shall know nothing, Jon Snow."
Their Grey Worm's plan was to punish Jon by sending him to the wall, where he will become the new king and take a wildling wife. That's what Jon wanted from the beginning. The entirety of the latter seasons. Anytimes like, Jon, you need to become the new king on the Iron Throne. Or, Jon, you need to usurp Daenerys. Jon just goes, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want the throne. She's my queen. And
What if Jon is really just some sort of evil super genius and he orchestrated all these problems to begin with?
if you watch
In
the
order
show,
to become the
Jon
God
is too,
King of the
Jon is too
whatever
stupid.
they are?
Jon is too stupid to be anywhere near that.
Then how does he end getting everything he wants and becoming a God King?
Because Grey Worm's an idiot. It's not Jon's fault that Grey Worm still thinks the wall is a
Final remaining
punishment.
dragon still alive?
The last dragon is still alive. And Jon, since Jon is Daenerys' nephew, he's a Targaryen. The dragons are loyal to the Targaryens. That dragon's gonna fucking fly north and join them.
Oh my god!
And we're gonna have...
Oh, okay.
And even worse, the Targaryens, they're fireproof. I don't know if I mentioned that. For some
They
reason,
are?
there's something with them where they're all fireproof. Yeah.
You did not mention that, but that's just one more slot to put into Jon's category of
All
evil
of a sudden-
dictatorship.
What in the world?
So, good work, Grey Worm, on punishing Jon. So then everyone gathers up like, well, Cersei was the queen, and she died without a line of succession because all her kids are dead, her husband's dead, the only remaining sibling she has is Tyrion, and no one wants to see him as king, evidently.
Gosh darn it!
And the follow-up queen was Daenerys, who also died without a line of succession.
Gosh darn it!
So they gather up all the lords of Westeros, and they're like,
What little they have left.
and they're all like, well, I guess we need to decide a new king. So Tyrion's like, okay, what if we cut this line of succession bullshit, and we just took up the Holy Roman Empire method, where after every emperor dies, the lords just gather up and elect a new one from their own members. Now, any historian can tell you that the Holy Roman Empire was one of the most spectacularly inefficient governments in history. But they go with it, and it's treated like a happy ending. And guess who they fucking elect to be their king? Bran.
Well, I know it's not Tyrion.
Who?
Bran Stark. The kid that got pushed out of the tower. Who is now, by the way, paraplegic, incapable of conceiving children. He now also has incredible psychic powers that allow him to see the past, the present, and the future. He can time travel. He can mind control people.
What?
He can time travel. I left that part out, didn't I? Bran can fucking
Yeah.
time
Yes,
travel.
You did.
What is this?
Do you know
It's
what?
the precursor to the Fox Banner universe. It's actually a prequel. Bran was the first mutant.
Okay,
I don't understand.
hang on.
How does time travel work in this universe?
It's nuts. Do you know why Hodor is Hodor?
I have no idea.
Because Hodor traveled with Bran north of the wall to meet the Three-Eyed Raven and turn Bran into the crazy psychic god king that he is, right? Well, at one point, the White Walkers have nearly got them cornered, and Bran needs a door to be held. So his friend Mira tells Hodor to hold the door. But she does it while Bran is time traveling his mind, his fucking psychic projection into the past when Hodor was a little kid, just named like Willis Smith or something like that. And he
Willis Smith, also played by Will Smith.
The Fresh Prince of some other universe.
The Fresh Prince of Westeros.
So, in all the confusion, Bran, while time traveling, winds up fucking transplanting the thought of hold the door into young Willis so hard that Willis's brain just deletes itself and he drops to the floor having horrible seizures, just repeating hold the door, hold the door, hold the door, slurring it more and more until it eventually turns into Hodor. So the reason Hodor is because Bran went back in time and ruined his life when he was a kid, turning him into Hodor. All so that he could hold the door and then get eaten by the fucking zombies.
He went back in time and ruined a man's life.
So our new
This
king...
is your king now.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Way back when they were in Winterfell, Tyrion asks him, hey, do you think, Bran, do you think that you could become the new Lord of Winterfell if Sansa and Jon don't want to do it? And Bran's like, I don't want things anymore. I am beyond such things. I am beyond the name Bran. Then they get to King's Landing, and Tyrion asks Bran, hey, you interested in becoming the new king? And Bran says, why do you think I came all the way here?
What?
Change of heart.
Uh-huh. Now, that's probably bad writing, but some people interpret that as Bran was the true villain of Game of Thrones, who has manipulated everything, past, present, and future, to make himself king of Westeros. Because there are several points in the story where Bran makes major choices that do interfere with everybody else's plot lines. Yeah.
Bran after becoming king started preaching about the PC master race. And started all of the console presents under his rule.
Oh God. And this is getting a bit long-winded, but I'm getting deep into this. I'm getting passionate about this shit, man. So, Bran, crazy psychic time-traveling god king who can see everything. He can see everything. So, no sneaking secrets past that king. Nobody's going to be making war on him. Nobody's going to be having any treason against him. Because he can just see everything. It's horrifying. Congrats, you now live in a medieval surveillance state. Ooh. Oh, God. And it really doesn't help that Bran has by far the least interesting storyline out of all the main characters. Because you guys all are at least tangentially aware of Game of Thrones. And you guys all probably have at least one or two storylines you've heard of from Game of Thrones that you find interesting. I am willing to bet none of you have heard of... Well, I'm willing to bet you've heard of Bran's storyline. I'm willing to bet none of you are actually interested in it. It's... Son of a bitch. I don't know. Maybe there's some people who are happy with Bran becoming king, and they're wrong. They're very, very wrong. And I gotta keep monologuing until my internet decides to recover. And Pink just laughs in the background because he hears the occasional statement I make. It's like a creepy time. It's like those creepy weird backgrounds in the background noises and laughs in some movie scenes, or something like that. Oh, God. And it really you know what really bugs me? Arya's boyfriend Gendry I can't talk about him because the fucking internet's gone out. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but fuck it. We're not going to get anywhere if I just sit like this. I'm just going.
Yeah.
Arya's boyfriend Gendry is Robert's bastard, so he's actually in line for the throne. Gendry is actually charismatic, unlike Bran. Gendry is not a crazy sociopath like Bran. Gendry actually grew up a poor bastard on the streets of King's Landing, so he understands the lowborn of Westeros better than anyone else at the King's Council. He would probably be the best king. But fuck
Yeah,
him, though.
I also hate Arya's boyfriend Genji.
Genji, yes. Oh god, did I mention the Arya sex scene?
No?
Yeah, Arya has a sex scene in season 8. It's the
No,
most...
thank you.
Yeah, no thank you. And it certainly doesn't help that it's with Gendry. I don't think they were planning for her and Gendry to ever get together, because I think Gendry's actor is like 10 years Arya's senior. And the actor talked about how awkward that scene was. Because, holy shit. But anyways, for our endings, Sansa at the King's Council meeting is like, oh, by the way, I'm going to vote on who's the new king, and I'm going to make it my little brother, but the North's an independent kingdom now. We're not going to swear loyalty to you guys anymore. Fuck off. And everyone just kind of lets her do it. Okay, Sansa, you go do that. Bye. And she
Go do your thing, woman.
And she does it right in the face of Yara Greyjoy, the king of the Pirates of the Caribbean islands, who have been vocally trying to get independence for centuries, and she doesn't even react. Okay, guess that character just showed up there to fill out the screen. And
Like,
then,
hey, can we have our independence too now?
thought didn't even cross her mind, apparently. So Sansa's crowned queen in the north. Jon goes to be king beyond the wall. Then Arya, it's like, well, where does Arya go? Does she continue being the greatest badass assassin in the world? No! Completely without any foreshadowing, Arya is just all of a sudden like, what's west of Westeros? I'm gonna go be Christopher Columbus. Bye, guys.
Oh, man.
Because they needed to get the character needed to have an ending, but they couldn't fucking think of anything, so they're like, oh, what's something big and innovative for a character on our cast to do? Oh, be Christopher Columbus, I guess.
She leaves Westeros to go to Southros.
Oh. There probably is a Southros. Because you know what's east of Westeros?
Easteros.
Essos. Grey Worm has the best ending, because his love interest was Missandei, who was killed by the Mountain, right? Well, Missandei is from the islands of Noth, and she told Grey Worm about this. And Grey Worm's like, well, me and the other Unsullied are all going to go to the island of Noth, and we're going to free all of the slaves of Noth. It'll be awesome. Here's the thing, Missandei left out some very important information about Noth, which is, Noth is native to a species of butterfly that is venomous and devours flesh, and will eat anyone who comes in the vicinity of Noth that is not native to the island during the daytime.
That doesn't sound good.
And they are in hordes. When people raid and invade Noth, they have to do it at nighttime, because the butterflies will just kill them. Just eat them all if they arrive during the daytime. So, Missandei deciding to leave out that information means Grey Worm and the Unsullied are just sailing off to go die. And the writers forgot about that, clearly, or else they wouldn't have had Grey Worm do it. But Grey Worm's actor knows about it, because in an interview afterwards, someone asked Grey Worm's actor, hey, what happens to Grey Worm afterwards? And Grey Worm's actor just says, oh, he's gonna fucking die. His ass is dead. He's gonna go get eaten by butterflies. He's gone.
What a way to go.
Going back to the Southros thing, if to the east is Essos, wouldn't that make the thing to the south Sauce?
Sauce.
That would actually be awesome. Davos is sailing there with his fermented crab and his hot pies. And the one last big dumb ending part that I just want to say. So Bran has to assemble a king's council, right? He makes Davos his master of ships. Makes sense. He makes Brienne his master of war. Makes sense. He makes Sam his Grand Maester, basically the master of books and nerd shit. Makes sense. Then he makes Bronn the master of coin. Bronn has been the cheeky sidekick of Tyrion for most of the show, whose entire thing is that he's a dumb thug. In Season 3, Bronn didn't know what a loan was, and Tyrion had to explain it to him. And Bronn is now master of coin. He is now running the national economy.
They're going into some serious debt right there.
Uh-huh. His main idea, they don't talk much about his economic plans, but his main idea to rebuild the economy of Westeros is to rebuild all of the brothels that Daenerys burned down. Good work, Bronn.
You've saved us all.
He's not finished with you.
I kid you not. The final shot of King's Landing is and Tyrion is Hand of the King, by the way, which is basically, it's Bran's right hand. So the final shot of the series is just Tyrion, Davos, Bronn, Brienne, not final shot of the series, just the final shot of King's Landing. Tyrion, Bronn, Davos, Brienne, and Sam all arguing about whether or not they should invest in brothels as the camera slowly pans away like it's the ending of a comedy. Like it's the fucking Seinfeld ending where they're in the jail cell and arguing about some stupid shit, right? Except instead of being trapped inside of a jail cell, they're trapped inside the bureaucratic courtroom, I guess. So that's how Game of Thrones ends. And I just want to make one last note that I can think of. Something that really fucking bothered me. So, the endings for most of the Game of Thrones characters. Daenerys, daughter of the Mad King, who seeks to reclaim Westeros and bring about a new era of prosperity for the most forgotten of the Westerosi people, the poor, the lowborn. She goes crazy and just starts burning people. Missandei, a slave who is born in chains, and Daenerys rescues her from chains, but then she gets captured by Cersei, put back in chains, and killed. She dies in chains. Born in chains, dies in chains. Jaime, who has spent his entire life thinking he's a monster, finally redeems himself, only to go back to being a monster. And there are several more examples of this. It feels like the ultimate theme of Game of Thrones, written by D&D, is that you can never escape your past. That you can't change who you are. Now, I don't think D&D intended this, because one of those D&D dipshits, I think Benioff, at one point said in an interview, theme is something for high school literature reports, but not real stories. Which, we should have known back then. We should have fucking known we were in for it back then, huh? So I don't think they intended to do that. They're just stupid. Their actual intention was subvert expectations. Is anyone here getting Last Jedi flashbacks? Because I am.
Maybe just a little bit.
So, what is a good way to subvert expectations? Oh, characters go back on a decade's worth of character development. What's a good way of subverting expectations? Oh, have the arguable main hero of the series, Daenerys, Jon, and Tyrion, each do something really stupid. So Tyrion, in the last 4 seasons, his brain disappears. Everything stupid the protagonists do is based on Tyrion's advice. Every decision Tyrion makes in the last 4 seasons goes wrong. Fucking all of them. Every single one. And in the first 4 seasons, Tyrion was like the second or third smartest guy in all of Westeros. Like, Pink's been talking about how they done his boy dirty. They really done his boy dirty. They've been doing his boy dirty for 5 years. 5 fucking years. That's a long time to be done dirty. Jon. Jon spends the last 2 seasons doing nothing except for when he kills Daenerys. Because they said he's the main hero, so they directly said, Jon is the main hero, so we want to subvert expectations by making him not be that important. They said that. Imagine saying we had our main hero and we made him to do nothing.
John is our main hero, so you want to subvert expectations by having him just whole villages with no remorse
No,
and
that's
no reason.
Daenerys.
No, that's actually Anakin. That's what I got the thing from. But yeah,
It will be John once he gets his God King Empire going up in the north.
No, I'm not worried about Jon. Jon's pretty content to just spend the rest of his days sleeping and fucking. I'm worried about his kids. Because those will be the monsters. But, yeah, Daenerys, to me, Daenerys was the main hero for most of the story. And then at the last minute, she's like, oh, guess what? I'm the bad guy now.
Danny got Dark Phoenixed.
Yep.
she was sleep with your that type.
She got Dark Phoenix, she got Ravened, she got Hollywood Hoganed. What are some other sudden last minute heel turns?
Sudden. I mean, it's not really sudden or last minute, but Shyamalan, I guess.
Yeah, yep, Samuel L. Jackson and Unbreakable. Yep, that's a last minute. That's like the last minute heel turn. That is legitimately the last minute of the movie. Yeah.
She was Jetstream Sam DLC'd.
You know what? I've got the most offensive case of stupid writing in the entire series, and I'm going to wrap it up on this before we move on to Spider-Man Far From Home. And after that, I'll be done. So when the zombies invade Winterfell, they're all like, well, where do we hide the elderly and the children? And Tyrion and Varys and Sansa, who apparently are too important to actually go out and fight, despite the fact that Sansa is a perfectly healthy young woman, and they're expecting all the other women of the North to fight at Winterfell. And despite the fact Tyrion has actually fought in battle before. Twice! Tyrion led the Lannister side during the Battle of the Blackwater. And he did well! He killed like 2 or 3 people himself! Like, it's something they don't mention much, but Tyrion's actually a fairly good fighter when he needs to be. But they tell him to go sit, and guess where they send all the people that they need to defend in Winterfell? The place they insist is the safest spot in Winterfell. The Stark family crypt. Now keep in mind...
They're hiding them inside a crypt with potential zombies.
They're fighting zombies, the White Walkers, who are famous for raising corpses as zombies. And they send them to sit in the crypt. And the zombies, who, by the way, earlier in season 7, the zombies could not break out of wooden crates. The Hound was able to carry a wooden crate on his back with a zombie in it, no trouble. Here, these crypts are made out of stone. Each of the bodies is encased in a stone coffin. The Night King raises all the dead of Winterfell, and the fucking zombies burst out of the coffins, out of the stone sarcophagi, like it's nothing. And they're heavily rotted corpses, too. They're practically zombies. They don't have any meat on their bones. And fucking Peter Dinklage in an interview trying his best to avoid dogging on D&D too hard because Hollywood is that kind of place, says, oh yeah, Tyrion went and hid in the crypts, and Tyrion's a smart guy, but I guess he's not that smart. Best season ever! That fucking Emilia Clarke face is never not gonna get me. I need to get a gif of that and just make it my signature on the forum. Alright, Spider-Man Far From Home. Pink, I recommend you take it away for a little bit because I need a drink because I've been talking nonstop for like the last half hour and now my throat is parched.
No problem. I'll start off with a very controversial or possibly controversial opinion.
Okay.
Oh, mineral water does not help a parched throat. Oh, fuck.
No.
Well, in the theater,
if I have to be completely honest here, I think that I enjoyed Far From Home more than I actually did enjoy Endgame.
Oh, ha!
That is
kind of agree.
that is a controversial choice. I would disagree.
Indeed.
Subjectively, I would disagree. However, I think Far From Home will probably stand up better to objective criticism than Endgame did. Because
There wasn't really any time travel in Far From Home, so I think that's a pretty safe bet.
At the end of the day, Endgame was caked in fan service, which, while subjectively for us as fans is a ton of fun, objectively for like a viewer who's looking for objectively quality storytelling, it's not much.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Endgame was a lot of fan service, and I loved it. But I just enjoyed Far From Home and its story far more.
Yeah.
I don't know that any moment of Far From Home really reached the heights of Cap with Mjolnir.
No, probably not.
There was one scene
Right.
that came close, though, and I say one scene, and I know you guys already know what scene I'm talking about. Because there is
Right.
one scene in Far From Home that as soon as you see it, you're like, this is the scene that will define the movie. This is the scene everybody will remember from this film.
Yeah.
So me being the layman here. So give me a quick rundown. Am I right? So Far From Home is a story of a disgruntled Rey Mysterio having to turn to crime to fund his next knee surgery.
Yes.
What?
I'll just say yes, but you're completely wrong.
They actually changed Mysterio's origins and motivation. Well, his motivation's kind of the same, I guess.
Yeah.
It's different, but it's the same. It's a very good adaptation.
Is he trying to be the next big YouTube star and that's why he goes crazy or something?
Yes, but no.
He does want to just be famous and filthy rich, which I love that that's the motive. Because we've got so many MCU villains now that have, like, big sympathetic motives and want to change the world and everything. Mysterio just wants to get rich.
Mm.
And famous.
Yeah.
Because he thinks it'd be awesome. So, I was really worried there that they would try to give Mysterio some degree of actual powers so that he could be an actual physical threat. I am glad they did not.
Yeah, agreed.
I was a little bit worried they'd have, like, Mysterio, like, get a fucking space stone or something from an alternate dimension to at least make him some degree of a threat. But nope. It's just Mysterio. And I'm curious. Do you guys have anyone in your family, like, I'm asking Ping and Volc here, do you guys have anyone in your family who who aren't comic people?
I
Immediate
don't
family,
think so.
You're all comic book people. Okay, so none of your family was gonna fall for the Mysterio twist.
There are a few more casual comic fans here, so maybe they would have fallen for it. 'Cause
Maybe.
I know several of them were asking me if I thought he was gonna turn out to be a false hero.
Yeah.
I kind of envy the casual moviegoer in that sense because, you know, once they announce that Mysterio's in the movie, I'm like, oh, I already know who the villain is now.
Yeah.
But for the
Yeah.
casual moviegoer, if they know nothing about the comics, I quite envy them for their going in to see it for the first time ever and actually believing that Mysterio is an actual hero.
Yeah.
Because I would love to have experienced a twist like that. Because I didn't get to experience that twist. It's, you know, like what they did with Vulture in Homecoming. That was fantastic and came out of nowhere for me. Because how could I have possibly expected that? But with Mysterio, I already knew what I was getting into.
Yeah.
But I love that they have done it so much like the comics. Like, Mysterio's got to be, outside of his origins, Mysterio's actually got to be one of the most comic accurate MCU villains we've got yet, hasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, Addy, you're a huge Mysterio fan, right?
Well, yes, I like Mysterio. I don't know everything about him, but yeah.
This is a pretty Mysterio-ass Mysterio. Like,
All right.
right down to underneath all the illusions being kind of just a petty, pathetic shit.
Yeah.
I don't know why those villains are my favorite, because like I love Mysterio and I love Riddler, so
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they both fit that bill.
Well, the wonderful thing about either
Yeah.
of those villains is that after the hero solves all the puzzles and all the illusions and all that, when they get to the actual villain, they just beat him with a single punch.
Yeah.
So, the Mysterio illusions were so good. That fucking
Yes.
that construction site scene. Oh boy.
Yeah, that was amazing.
That's when you knew this was the defining Spider-Man movie.
Yes.
I won't call it the defining one because I'm always excited for more normie. But that is like one of the scenes that I think is going to stick out of the MCU in general for people who aren't comic nerds, you know?
Right.
Because that's always a perspective to take on the MCU for like the people for whom comic Marvel ends and begins with MCU. How are they going to view the MCU after it's done? You know?
Mm-hmm.
And there are some moments they're going to forget. There are definitely entire movies they'll forget. But there are distinctive scenes and characters like Thanos and the Mysterio illusions that I think are really going to stick with people. And I just want to go ahead and say this movie I've lost my train of thought. You know what? I'll move on to another topic though. So, I remember everyone and their mother was saying they can't ever do J. Jonas Jameson ever again because they'll never get one as good as J.K. Simmons. And Marvel was like, "Oh, okay." So,
Yeah.
So Addie, do you
We
know what
agree.
the post-credit scene of Spider-Man Far From Home is?
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons returns as J. Jonah Jameson.
Nice.
This is, alongside Lou Ferrigno voicing Hulk, this is the only occasion where they've actually got someone from outside the MCU to still repeat a role in the MCU, right?
Right. Yeah.
I'm still pulling for Tobey Maguire to make a comeback.
No.
Or rather, a cameo, rather. But yeah.
Tom Holland said he did want to do a Spider-Verse movie where Tobey Maguire was one of the Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's
Admittedly, I'd watch that in a heartbeat, but still, no.
And Andrew
yeah,
Garfield.
that's what I'm pulling for. That's what I'm pulling for. I'm pulling for all of the freaking MCU Spider-Man to be together and just have freaking Tobey Maguire yell pins of time.
I think what Tom Holland pitched was the idea of having the Holland, Garfield, and Maguire Spider-Mans all meet up, and that way you'd have like a young Spider-Man, a kind of like probably early 30s Spider-Man, and you'd probably have Tobey Maguire as old man Spider-Man, or I guess he'd be the Peter B. Parker version.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm for it. If they can get it together, then I'll watch it. Shit.
Oh, and of course throw in Miles too, because you gotta.
Yeah.
I'm really curious when they're going to introduce Miles in the MCU. I thought for sure they'd introduce Miles in Far From Home, but they didn't. Like, Pink, were you Pink, Volc, were you guys expecting Miles to be introduced in Far From Home? And alright, my internet's dead. That's awesome. I've definitely been expecting Miles for a while. Like,
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, your internet's kind of going bad.
yeah, I know.
So
Ever since
well-
they introduced Uncle Davis way back in
while we
Homecoming,
wait for Dobby to return.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
try to keep talking because
So-
if the internet's bad,
Okay, he's not back yet. So while we wait for Dobby to return, here's my worst idea. Ready?
I'm ready.
Ready.
Okay, MCU 2099.
fuck off.
I mean, aside from Spider-Man, everything else about 2099 kind of sucks. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
I know.
Punish Fox.
Yeah. I wonder who they'd cast for freaking Miguel. if they were to do a freaking Spider-Verse movie, live action movie.
Fuck it, just go with Oscar Isaac. They went with him for the Spider-Verse version.
I was gonna say that.
I don't even like Oscar Isaac, but it's a fairly obvious pick. He's hot right now. The Far From Home has to be one of the best movies for setting up sequels, by the way. Because Endgame did a good job of setting up movies going forward. Far From Home sets up even more. Because we gotta talk about the scroll scene, which at the time seemed like a dumb comic relief moment, but it serves multiple purposes. Because for one, it explains why Nick was so out of character and such a jackass throughout Far From Home, because it wasn't Nick. For another thing, putting Nick in space with the Skrulls, I think, with all the rumors going around that Norman is going to be the Phase 4 and Phase 5 villain, I think they're setting up for Secret Invasion. And I think once Norm beats the Skrulls in Secret Invasion, that because Nick was so closely allied with the Skrulls, Norm will be able to use that to get Nick to lose his job, and he'll take over as the leader of S.H.I.E.L.D. and turn it into Hammer. Was it Hammer or Sword?
Hammer.
Hammer. And that's how we'll set up Dark Reign and Siege. And Siege has also been set up because they have New Asgard in Norway, where Valkyrie is queen. So Norman could be like, we need to get these damn superhumans off our planet, and they invade New Asgard.
But do they have Fuse set up for Siege?
Well, I mean, I'm sure
More
Norman
importantly,
does
do
plan
they
on...
have the hostage?
I'm sure Norman plans on killing many civilians, Addy, so it'd be smart if they did take Fuse. I'm so excited for Norm in the MCU. Don't get me wrong, I like Willem Dafoe. I love Willem Dafoe. He's Willem Dafoe. It's impossible to not appreciate Willem Dafoe for being Willem Dafoe. Not a huge fan of Spider-Man 1's Goblin.
Yeah.
To me,
Like, I just...
to me, Maguire's Goblin is too sympathetic. If you're going to... I love Norm being pure evil. Just being one of the most monstrous, most sociopathic, monstrous individuals walking the earth.
I just fear that they're gonna go around the new Goblin design route, and I don't like that. Like,
no, I think MCU's... We got Fishbowl.
Yeah.
You got to keep in
True.
mind, we got Fishbowl. So I think this may be our distinct chance at getting an actual Goblin.
Yeah.
And that would be interesting.
but instead of the actual Green Goblin, we're gonna get Hobgoblin. That's his name, isn't it?
Addy, you're repeating jokes. You've made the we're gonna get Hobgoblin joke 4 times now. I've been counting. Oh, man. And of course, J. Jonah Jameson showing off that footage, that doctored footage of Spider-Man killing everyone, and then revealing that he's Pete. So now everyone's gonna hate superheroes. And we're finally gonna get the
Civil War.
Yep.
Oh wait, that already happened.
Not Civil War.
Wait, isn't it?
Not Civil War. We already got Civil War. We did already get Civil War.
Yeah, I remember it right. Okay.
But this will definitely tie into Dark Reign. And for one thing, this means the New York populace will finally be as much of shitheads as they are in the comics. Which was one thing always missing from the MCU, that the people were actually grateful for being saved instead of trying to kill the Avengers. Which, you know, on one hand, it's ridiculous how ungrateful the people of the Marvel Universe are. At the same time, it's probably realistic. And it's always felt like something that was missing from the MCU, everybody being huge shitheads. I'm really curious how this will function, though. Do you think that this is going to mean, like, they're going to try and enforce the Superhuman Registration Act even harder? Because they never talked about whether or not the Superhuman Registration Act was officially gotten rid of.
Right.
And I got another question. They already pretty much said they're going to keep Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I think so.
Will we get the Deadpool Norman relationship from Dark Reign?
We'll get that wall climbing with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I like as much as the freaking the comics weren't that good. I still kind of want Deadpool and Spider-Man to be canon in the MCU as well. Like just Spider-Man being fed up with Deadpool and Deadpool being like, "Hey, girlfriend."
I don't think it would work as well considering the age difference, honestly.
True.
With that said, you know, Dark Reign might be the perfect place to introduce mutants, though. Because Norman's notoriously prejudiced, and Norman will probably campaign on, oh, the superhumans are ruining the world. We need to get rid of the superhumans, right?
Right.
Right.
So have Norman stir up anti-mutant prejudice.
Just
Could be
leading to
good.
Xavier founding the freaking school. It's not made yet. That's why they're not there.
Heh. Xavier starts the school and all the mutants just plop into existence.
Yeah. All grown up. They don't need to age. Also, Hugh Jackman is there despite not wanting to be Wolverine for the past 15 years.
Yeah. Let Harry Potter do it. Come on.
I'd be interested in Radcliffe being Wolverine. I mean, it wouldn't have been the same because movie Wolverine is just Hugh Jackman now, but
And
still, I would be interested.
And Edward Pattinson is Batman, so you could go back to that Harry Potter movie where Edward Pattinson was there, and it's like, oh, Wolverine and Batman are teaming up to win the Quidditch Cup.
Yeah.
Ah.
Wait, Pattinson was in freaking Harry Potter?
Yeah, he was one of the main characters of Goblet of Fire.
Oh, I don't remember him.
Did you watch Goblet of Fire?
Yes, I watched all of the Harry Potter movies.
He was
Well,
Cedric, he was Cedric Diggory. He was the
yeah,
he was
I
the-
remember him now. I don't remember his face, but I remember him.
yeah, handsome
Yeah,
pretty boy
alright.
that Pettigrew killed.
Yeah, alright. I guess I never noticed.
Yeah, he's done stuff other than Twilight. It just so happens that he's unfortunate enough that Twilight is his most famous film. All right. Let's go around and get some opinions. Pink. On Far From Home, I mean.
On Far From Home,
Yes.
just like in general opinions, I loved it. I've been sitting here for the past week or so trying to think of a complaint that I could harbor against it, but I've come up with nothing.
Really?
It's, to my knowledge,
All right.
did you come up with anything?
I did, but we'll wait until it comes around to me. What was the strongest part of the film for you?
Mysterio. I thought Jake Gyllenhaal did a fantastic job with everything he was in. I thought he played off of, I almost called him Toby, Tom, fantastically. Let's
I like that
see.
they allowed him to yuck it up.
Yeah.
They weren't like, oh, he's a serious, sympathetic villain. They're like, no, he's a pathetic asshole who wants to ruin people's days for his own sake.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought all the bad guys being former Stark employees was hilarious.
Stark pissed off so many people in the MCU.
You
All
think
the
that
Iron
little...
Man villains and all the Spider-Man villains so far have been have been Tony employees or
Yes.
people that were pissed off by Tony.
Yes.
Just wait until it turns out that Tony made Doctor Octopus's claws.
Yeah,
I'm surprised
Thanos
the
only
party
came to
wasn't
Earth
bigger.
because of Tony.
Yeah. Are you saying Pink? Sorry.
I was saying that I was surprised that the party wasn't bigger.
Yeah. I almost I almost do kind of want it. Like, I don't know if they'll ever show Doc Ock in these movies because they have such limited space, and they've already used space for Vulture, Shocker, and Mysterio, so some good villains are inevitably going to be left out. But even if they don't show Doc Ock, they at least gotta give us. They gotta at least show the tentacles in the background of a scene.
Yeah. If they do Doc Ock, I want it to be done like the PS4 game. I liked it.
I don't know. They've done Doc Ock in so many different ways other than the classic comic variation. I'd almost just want to see the comic variation.
That's the only one I want to see. Don't give me
Agreed.
Mentor Ock. Give me crazy old man Doc Ock.
Not too crazy, though. I think Doc is, no matter what, one of the more sympathetic ones.
Give
Yeah.
me Superior Spider-Man.
Superior Spider-Man would be awesome, but there's no way that's happening.
Not in the. Give me Superior in the next
Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse, yes.
That would be cool.
Give me Superior in 2099, and I'm set.
Okay,
Yes.
have him try to hide it throughout the first half of Spider-Verse 2. Because I feel like that would actually be something that would really turn the audience on their heads. The idea of a Spider-Man that is Doc Ock.
Right.
And it wouldn't even look weird him having the 4 tentacles coming out of his back, because the Iron Spider suit that is in the MCU already has the 4 tentacles coming out of his back.
they wouldn't question it. It's like, oh yeah, Spider-Man. He's got tentacles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Spider-Man, well-known tentacle monster.
Oh, God. You know, they can make Doc Ock look badass. They're never going to make Doc Ock look creepy and gross as much as the weird organic... Well, not organic, but the weird bioengineering tentacles that she had in Spider-Verse 1.
Right.
That shit was freaky. I don't like that it pulsates when it grabs people. All right, Volc, what are your opinions on the film?
I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. I don't know where to place it in favorites of this year, but I really did like it. And something that really stood out was just really good to see Spider-Man not really having to rely on everybody, but still needing support, kind of thing.
Yes.
That it was really
Ned-
good to see him build.
Go ahead.
Kind of thing. Oh no, that was kind of it. It's just really good to see that he's developing and growing up and not needing to rely on Tony, kind of thing.
Right. That's something that stuck out to me too that I forgot, that he wasn't relying on the suit to do everything for him. He wasn't needing Ned to be in the chair because Ned was off doing his own thing.
Yeah.
I liked how he was getting his footing on the independence of his own character.
All right. As I'd love to keep the conversation going, but my Wi-Fi is currently dying. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. We've got to be running this podcast pretty long. Yeah, we're sitting at 3.5 hours. Sweet. Yeah, that's great. Can you guys hear me still?
And 2.5 of that is Game of Tones. Sort
Game
of.
Tones, exactly. Game of Tones. All right. You can hear me again. I guess we'll go ahead.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and hit my opinion and then try to get this over with. All right. So, Spider-Man: Far From Home. Generally, all around, I'd say it's a great movie. I wouldn't say it's one of the absolute best of the MCU. I would say I enjoyed it a little more than Homecoming, which is fairly big because I actually really, really enjoyed Homecoming. I mean, I recognize that Homecoming had some flaws. Like how this podcast has flaws. Like how I need to keep padding it out every time the internet dies like it does right now. But, you know, I move on. I roll with it, just like Spider-Man did after Homecoming, into Far From Home, to make a good movie. And now that my internet's back, I can actually talk. So, hey,
Yeah.
To me, one of the best features, I'm gonna be honest, my favorite part of the entire film was the post-credit scene.
All the post-credit scenes have me so hyped. I want to get tickets now for everything coming out
Yeah,
now.
Yeah.
that post-credit scene sets up so much, and it brings back J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson, and
Right?
hey,
What more could you
Yes, I know. It was so good.
and MJ hates web swinging.
Yeah.
She hates it.
That was so funny.
And this MJ is pretty good. While it misses out, like, it's weird. Like, the fact that she's Michelle Jones instead of Mary Jane tells you that she's going to have a lot fundamentally different to her character. But at the same time, her being called MJ implies her sharing the same themes. And in that odd way, despite not being Mary Jane, she's still a better MJ than pretty much every MJ we've gotten so far.
want? That's not a hard thing to accomplish.
No, it
Yeah.
isn't. She misses the Mary Jane things of being a model and being, happy and, so confident and courageous and, you won the lottery here, Tiger, that whole thing, right?
Yeah.
She's not got that personality like Mary Jane does, but she has the MJ thing of, like, understanding Peter, understanding who he is as Spider-Man, being there for him, and generally understanding his flaws as an individual. And generally probably being the voice of reason in every scenario Peter gets involved in. Being a good person, that's the MJ part they understand.
Yeah.
It's the fundamental thing that every writer outside of comics, and most of the writers inside of comics, looking at you, Dan Slott, miss about MJ is that she is Peter's rock. That Peter is a train wreck in motion at all times, and she is his rock. She is the only thing that keeps him from collapsing as a person. So, I'm a real big fan of this MJ. I will say, I think the film's greatest flaw is I felt there was a lot of unnecessary moments. The entire character of Brad really could have gone.
Yeah, I agree. He was really odd.
Like, the entire purpose of that character pretty much was, Peter got caught naked with a 7-foot-tall blonde secret agent sent by Nick. Oh, quirky.
Don't you hate when that happens?
By the way, did anyone else going in on that scene go like, oh god, is that Yelena Belova?
Who?
No, I
Belova.
didn't, but that's interesting.
The blonde Black Widow.
Belova.
Because I was like, oh god, it really? We don't know for sure. It could be her. That'd be wild if it was.
that would be wild considering how low key it was.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, we've got a new Black Widow now. She kind of debuted in that last movie you saw and didn't even realize it.
Yeah. Yeah.
the that actually is kind of funny. But the only logical reason I can see for Brad's introduction is to explain the Stark drones. That's the only logical reason I can explain why he's there.
Yep.
Because he's not even good competition for Peter with MJ. The moment Peter actually makes a move, MJ's like, oh, fuck this Brad nerd. I'm going with Peter.
Brad who? What's a Brad? Never
Give me
heard
some
of
of
it
that
before.
Peter action. Other than that, at the current moment, I can't think of any immediate weaknesses. I will say I do think it's sad that Mysterio, for the most part, dumped the suit, except for the fishbowl in the finale. They may have gone too hard on the fishbowl for them to have decided, you know what? He only keeps the fishbowl in the final fight. And the supposed realistic fishbowl looks dumber than the fake one, by the way. He looks...
I actually really like that look because you get the illusion Mysterio who's in all his glory, and then Jake Gyllenhaal up in his little tube, just basically standing around in his underwear with a giant bowl on his head.
Yeah.
Well, it's
I thought it was a
don't get
great
me wrong.
contrast.
It's hilarious, don't get me wrong, but it takes a little bit of gravitas away from the finale.
The fishbowl still shattered. All the fundamentals were there.
Mm-hmm.
To me, he just looks like one of Dark Helmet's minions from Spaceballs.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's my feelings on Far From Home.
Right.
And
Can we talk about how pretty Jake Gyllenhaal is now?
No,
You
Yes.
wouldn't let me do it for the trailer.
I really don't like Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, that's a shame.
I get him really easily confused with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. They're the same person for me.
No, they are not. That is wrong. That is so wrong.
That's an insult to Jake Gyllenhaal.
Do not insult Jake Gyllenhaal like that again, please.
I can't help it. Their names start with J. They're both like skinny, 5'9" white dudes with like chiseled chins and swept back brown hair, and they both got pretty eyes.
Yeah, but the difference is one of them can act. So there's my thought.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
One of them can act. The other one is called Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
And no one remembers him except for in that one movie. What was it called? See, I don't even remember.
Dark Knight Rises? Or are you talking about the movie where he sleeps with Scarlett Johansson?
Dude, I don't even remember. I don't think I watched that one.
Or 50-50 with Seth Rogen.
Nope, didn't watch that one either.
That's actually supposed to be one of the only good Seth Rogen movies.
I don't believe there's
Wow.
a good Seth Rogen movie outside of Kung Fu Panda.
Well, the thing about 50-50 is it's a comedy drama. Because it's about Joseph Gordon-Levitt getting cancer. So it's very much serious about large stretches of it. But it also tries to be funny, but in a more heartwarming way than Seth Rogen's usual way of, I smoke pot and I joke about jerking off.
Oh.
I'm so funny. So in short, no, we can't talk. God damn. I said we couldn't talk about Jake Gyllenhaal being so pretty, but then when I had to describe why I thought Jake Gyllenhaal and Joseph Gordon-Levitt were the same person, I described their appearances. And I described Jake Gyllenhaal as having pretty eyes and a chiseled jaw. So there you go, Pink. There you go, Pink and Volc. We talked about how pretty Jake Gyllenhaal is.
Yeah.
Addie,
The whole eroticism is getting to you. Is the JoJo power? It's being stand crazy talk.
Man, that whole cast was pretty.
Yeah.
Especially J.K. Simmons. What a movie.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
the ever beautiful Samuel L. Jackson. He's wearing no shoes. Excuse me. He's not wearing any shoes. That's gotta be one of the weirdest out of nowhere line deliveries I've ever seen. And it's the final line of the movie, too. Like, build up a collection of the final lines of major famous movies, right? And you got, like, Citizen Kane, where it's probably Rosebud, and all kinds of shit. And then you move on to Spider-Man Far From Home, the final line of the movie, I'm not wearing any shoes! Anyways, I think this is a good place to wrap it up. I think we can call it a podcast. Addie, say how pretty Jake Gyllenhaal is. If I have to do it, you gotta do it too. Take the bullet, Addie. Take it for the team, or Patty.
I don't even know who
Patty.
Jake Gyllenhaal is. Ariana Beatty. I don't even know who Jake Gyllenhaal is.
Patty. I mixed her name with. I mixed the two of you's names
I am
and
not
called you
Irish.
Patty. Oh God. Oh, my brain is degenerating.
I am not Irish. Laddie.
Say how pretty Jake Gyllenhaal is, or Pink will hold us hostage here.
I don't even know who Jake Gyllenhaal is. But if
Just
you're
say
getting
he's pretty.
but if we're getting held hostage, put up a timestamp. Because there's something that you forgot.
This is nearly 4 hours, you fucker. This is gonna take so long to fucking friend. You
don't
know
have
I
to
try
tell
to
me,
get
I
these
didn't-
uploaded by tomorrow morning, right?
Yeah, I'm just torturing you. So, put up a timestamp. And prepare to be disappointed.
It's just gonna be a picture of Fuse, isn't it? Shoot.
There you go.
I have no words.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest. There are lots of games where it's easier fighting the players. Every time we play Smite, I'm like, fuck fighting bots. Like, Volc, you know this. Smite bots, death ball. As soon as the game starts, the bots all just join together and they're like, form of death ball, and they just roll over everybody.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's the same shit in Dota 2. Alright. How do you say how pretty Jake Gyllenhaal is?
Jake Gyllenhaal is bi.
Jake Gyllenhaal is a bi?
Okay.
I don't know that he is, man. I haven't asked, but... I mean, if he is, that means we've all got a shot.
I mean, probably.
Volk sounded like she was going to start a serious defense there. Like she was going to start a rap battle over Jake Gyllenhaal's heart or something.
That's our next series.
I'm just a really big fan. No, I get it. No, I was gonna make a joke because he said he was gonna marry Tom Holland. So, so I was like, I mean, yeah.
You,
That's our next series. Volk doing rap battles.
and we just have to. We just need to put it over footage of the Kermit flail.
Yeah. No, we put it over those freaking like gangster pictures of Kermit, the ones that freaking people put on shirts.
Kermit with two ninja swords smoking a blunt. You mean? You know what? I'll do the.
Yeah, Kermit with two katanas and a sharingan smoking a blunt.
And a Sharingan, of course.
Yeah.
I gotta put it in there just so that Volk understands what we're talking about. I gotta put it in.
You actually have a picture of it?
Oh, of course I still have a picture of it. What are you talking about?
I don't think you ever showed us the freaking...
I did. It was in one of the podcasts.
Huh.
Oh, fuck.
I guess I forgot.
Damn you, Google, for your long links. I'm gonna fucking go to some effort here. I'm gonna take a picture of, I'm gonna screenshot it, and I'm gonna fucking crop it out in OBS. I'm going to lengths here, man. Did I say I'll crop it out in OBS? I meant GIMP. Yeah, I'll crop
you can crop it out
in OBS, the recording software you're using right now. It'll multitask.
Technically, you can crop it out in OBS. It'll just show you cropping it out.
Yeah, no kidding. We've had that happen more than enough times. Alright, there we go. Let me crop that shit. Crop the selection. There you go. Export as. There we go. And now I will get this picture on, and it will be the final image of the podcast. It will be the image we leave in all people's minds and hearts as a symbol, a true symbol of the podcast.
It's hide and right with the Pikachu.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I remember this. Hold on, I retweeted this.
Spring 2018.
Oh, Christ.
That's Volk right now.
Oh yeah.
Just let that image burn into your eyeballs.
I think I gotta
But it-
change it to my icon now.
They went to cut it out so it's just Kermit with the swords. And not the text.
No, Volc wants to be added to Tekken 7 in spring 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, folks. See you later. Oh God, where's the stop recording button?
It has been removed by Jake Gyllenhaal.
Now he's holding us hostage. Bye, folks.